Today's game on KFJB-TV is sponsored by First Rate Real Estate, Atland Engraving and Screen Print Company, Assured Partners, Brown's Shoe Fit, Central State Bank, your Marshalltown Dairy Queens, Eye Care Associates, Hy-Vee Marshalltown, Legends American Grill, Lennox Employees Credit Union, Marshalltown Area Chamber, Marshalltown Community College, Marshalltown School District, McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, Sandvik Enterprises, Scooters, Marshalltown, Sports Plus, State Farm, Tyler Pashon Agency, Wayward Social, Wells Fargo Advisors, Members First Community Credit Union, Van Wyck Wood Builders.
Welcome to Des Moines, Lincoln. Brandon Lewis, Dylan Doe is alongside me. It is the season tip-off tonight for the Marshalltown Bobcat Boys Basketball team. The girls got going last week. They got themselves a nice 30-21 victory at home in the Roundhouse. They're now leading on the road by 2 points, 19-17. But big night for the boys basketball team. A lot of unknown coming into the season on both sides of the basketball.
There very much is, but those that are returning, and really I think come to this last trip down to Lincoln where they were beat by 19 points. They were run off the court, and they knew they were better than that. This is the last go-around for Kyle Smith. Kyle Smith, almost an 18-point scorer last year, but he's got his best basketball in front of him. What will the leap of Drake Gersma be from his sophomore to junior year? That's going to be very big. Bobcats have played 7 true freshmen in the recorded history of Marshalltown basketball. Tonight, number 8 and 9 will start for your Bobcats. So there is a lot of unknown out there, but it's better to have unknown talent than unknown of how bad can it be, because there is some firepower on this Bobcat team.
Meanwhile, you look at the Lincoln Railsplitters coming into this one. A nice season behind first-year head coach. He had the interim tag the first year, and then this is technically his third year leading the program as we look at head coach Mike Apple. He's in his 8th year, but the Lincoln Railsplitters last year, boy, they really got under the skin of the Bobcats. It was really their physicality last year. Charlie Fry inside, but all 5 starters are gone. It's a whole new squad coming into the season for the Lincoln Railsplitters.
Yeah, to put it in perspective, 21 of the over 120 points scored against the Bobcats last year returns. Lionel Parks is the only starter. But you said the word that I love, it's physicality. And they did it off the bounce from the perimeter last year, but they really did it with Charlie Fry in the middle. It didn't always jump out in the stats, but he definitely set the tone. It's going to come down to, is this second wave of Railsplitters, this second season under Coach Keone, is it going to be the team that matches or intentionally sets the pace and the physicality for the Cats coming on the road?
Yeah, that is for sure. Big tip-off tonight coming up right around 7:45. We'll have bonus coverage of the girls' game when we come back. This is Bobcat Basketball. You're watching KFJB-TV.
When you go home, you'll feel good about what you did, and you're doing it for the kids. If they don't have us, they don't have these games.
Welcome back to the Lincoln Roundhouse. We are underway in the second half of the girls' game, 19-17. In that first half, Georgia Jansen really put on a nice show in that first half of action.
Georgia Jansen got a a layup from the get-go. She had 6 overall in the first half. I was really impressed. She had 4 or 5 steals there as the Bobcats turned it over, but Lincoln's physicality has kept this game close. 19-17, that's going to be off the Cats.
Bowie out of bounds right there, so it'll stay on the right side of your TV screen. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on the road for the boys season tip-off. Second game of the season for the girls as they start the season 1-0. And Millie Heitman with a steal, but loses it off of her shoe out of bounds, and that will be back to the Lincoln Railsplitters. You saw the Lincoln Railsplitters at home in this matchup a year ago, and boy, that was a game where the Bobcats just dominated pretty much from the get-go.
I've been really impressed. Last year's Railsplitters backcourt was very small, a little bit quicker, but this team is so much more physical. You know, you can tell when there's a dog in them. This Lincoln defense has that dog in them.
Are you stealing a Mara Johnson line right there?
I am. I was about to steal a Nelly line, saying it's like a rated G Nelly song up in here. It's very hot, but we will keep our clothes on.
It is true. We are up in the rafters. Very warm here tonight. 7:19 to go in the third quarter as you're locked into Bobcat girls basketball bonus coverage on a Super Tuesday in the Iowa Lions Conference. North meeting South, and Heitman into the front court, lose the basketball again as the Lincoln Railsplitters will bring it into the front court as Georgia Jansen right there riding Ellie Faust as she was trying to bring it up court, and we do have a foul on the floor.
One thing we're seeing where Millie has struggled some is that trying to do that pocket bounce pass in the lane. That was turned over a few times against South Tama. There it was again. Cats really in that first quarter did a nice job only turning the ball over 2 times. But since then have really been a little bit fast and loose and haven't met the intensity of the Railsplitters.
3 from the near side corner. It skims off the left side of the iron. Lincoln will not get to it. 3 coming from Leo Choa right there, one of the captains and a senior at 5'6" and a guard. So Bobcat basketball as Millie Heitman will look to inbound it to the Bobcats in the Road Reds here tonight as Samara Johnson will bring it up over midcourt into the front court. She is guarded by Langford as she'll transition to the far wing and back to Bowie. And you know, it was so key in that opening night win for the Bobcats to get Bowie a couple open looks. She just wasn't able to convert as Heitman goes down the right side of the paint and scores here to give the Bobcats a 21-17 lead. But getting her open will be key for the Bobcats because that 3 really needs to be one of those things that they can rely on at certain point in time. Not, you know, because as we alluded to in the opening game against South Tama, so many times Frankie Long is double or even triple team down low.
Yeah, and they've been playing the same defense Lincoln here today is pack it in. Morgan Hildebrand's another one. So far 0-6 on the season from 3. Really anticipate, she shot at over 40% last year. Anticipate her to really get going as well.
Bobcats come away with the basketball as Millie Heitman will bring it up the near side. We do have an injury and a player down in the paint as the trainers will head on to the floor and check it out as the Bobcats currently leading 21-17, looking to go to 2-0 on the season with a victory here tonight, and it is Jumi Coyote down on the floor. She's getting stretched out. I'm not sure, maybe something, maybe a calf injury.
Looks like cramps, and we have Brandon up here drinking pickle juice just to keep loose, but Coyote's been really good. She had 7 points in this ball game so far. In the big run Lincoln had in the second quarter, she had 5, along with a couple steals to really get them going.
So 21-17, a busy week for the Bobcats, by the way. They've got Newton on Thursday night and then East on Friday. So 3 out of the 5 nights as Coyote is able to get up off the floor as we give a little wave to our fans here. We're at the other Roundhouse, a very similar setup to the Marshalltown Roundhouse.
Yeah, it's got that similar setup, but they've got the really cool, and I always think of Hoosiers mainly, some of it is the old school nature, but also the color scheme. It's that gold and maroon, and so they have that drop-down scoreboard right over center court that looks fantastic as well. It really is a fun environment, but the one cool thing is if you play in a Roundhouse, you're not going to be thrown off from the shooting backdrop. One of the things in a place like this, sometimes it can take shooters a little bit to find their feet about it, but here, if you're used to it, you're going to be all right.
Heitman with the right wing bounces into Frankie Long, double teamed, goes up and under, scores it. 2-point bucket for Frankie Long, and she'll go for the and one at the line. Did bring that back. I know you kind of get on Frankie every now and then about bringing that ball down low, but she did a nice job up and under right there for the score.
With her bringing it down, though, she was good and patient, and then she used the step through. If you're going to utilize the step through, the biggest thing is when you go low just and kind of stick. She did a nice job of the step through there and finishes the three-point play.
That's one thing that they struggled with last year was free throw shooting, but last Tuesday night, and so far from what I've seen here tonight, free throw has been a little bit of a plus.
They've gotten to the line quite a bit. Frankie got her second out of 5 here. One of the big things that I will say has been a big jump up over the last week. The entry passes into Frankie have been much more crisp, much better, giving her places to operate, not having to struggle on the catch, but being able to get in good position. It's just been a couple bunnies that haven't gone for her.
Take a look at Brian Murphy there a moment ago. We'll talk to him at halftime of the boys' game and recap the girls as they're leading on their own, 24-17. Three from straight on. It is good by Stonehawker. Monique Stonehawker, the senior forward at 5'7", knocking that one down, 24-20 now. As the Bobcats into the front court with Bowie. Had it knocked away. She's trapped in the near side corner. Got to get rid of it. Amara Johnson will come up, and that will be an over and back as it is off of Johnson's fingertips. And it is Lincoln basketball with 5:24 to go here in the third quarter as we take a look at that last play and scoring play for Frankie Long with our Tyler Pashong State Farm replay. So Lincoln will inbound it from the far side, right in front of the student section, into the point guard in Langford. And she'll drive into the paint and kick it out near side. Back to the top of the key, and around the perimeter they go. But Bobcats doing a nice job in the corner to shut it down. Wide open three again, splash for Ochoa. Leah Ochoa, the senior, with a huge three, and the Bobcats lead them open for good looks.
And that's Ochoa's second three as Amara takes it off the glass and in. But the big thing right now that the Cats are doing, they're bringing a second defender to the ball, but then they're not rotating. If you're going to bring an extra defender, you've got to rotate, and they've had wide open threes.
Amara Johnson with a nice score on that last drive, taking it coast to coast, and now a foul. Shooting in the action, and that will mean free throws for Keone Langford as she'll head to the line for two. That's a second team foul here in the third quarter on the Rails, and that'll be number 3 on Frankie Long here tonight. She was in danger of fouling out last Tuesday night as well, and that was one thing that was a little bit of that bugaboo is the free throw. The first one, it is no good for Corlin Brown, the junior at the line right now for the Railsplitters. But foul trouble will be the name of the game because this is a team that doesn't have the deepest of benches.
No, they don't. And the biggest thing comes in foul trouble, specifically with Frankie. She can go 2 quarters without a foul. When she picks up one, it can really snowball. Did that against South Tama. She had nothing halfway through the second quarter. She had 3 by halftime.
So a lane violation on the second free throw. And it gives the Bobcats the basketball back with halfway through this third quarter. Trying to go inside to Frankie Long. It is tipped away. Ochoa comes away with it. A handoff. They'll bring it to the front court. A little out of control right there for Sides. Now a long-range shot. Millie Heitman with an easy rebound right underneath the bucket as she'll bring it into the front court. She almost has it taken away. She was bumped off the basketball. Jansen looking around for somebody. Loses it. Gathers it back in. Now inside to Frankie Long. Turn around. Oh, good move. Misses it. Follows, get the rebound, and a tie-up down low inside. But, boy, really, we could see it early on. You were called for maybe a foul right there. It's a very physical game so far.
Yeah, it's a lot of physicality around the perimeter. But when needing a bailout, they went to Georgia Jansen. Georgia needed bailout, got it to Frankie. Frankie just off the back iron. She's had 3 or 4 good looks. That left hand just won't fall.
Langford gets the inbound pass after the tie-up and the possession arrow going for the Rails. Baseline drive cut off by Frankie Long, almost thrown away, but Lincoln will keep it. Free throw line, now swing it right wing, 3. Skims off the iron, no good for Ochoa, but Lincoln scrambling for it. Thought they were going to pull up for a 3 on the left wing. Now loose basketball. Millie Heitman comes up with it as Langford, the point guard, losing it right there as Heitman Has Langford all over. Try to get over the 10-second line. Will do. And dribbles to the near side corner. Wide open! 3 is good. And the sophomore Morgan Hildebrand made so many of those a year ago, finally heating up in game number 2.
And that shot is so pure. I love the confidence, a little drop-off pass, and she didn't know she was 0-6. She just knew she had a great shot, and it went bottom of the net.
Langford, no good on the runner. Heitman almost exclusively kind of running the point here tonight. We usually see Amara Johnson in that role.
Amara was running it early in that first quarter, second quarter, but yeah, it's definitely gotten Millie here in the second half.
Bowie tries her luck at a 3, and it is no good, and a foul on Kinsley Bowie on the rebound attempt as we get a look at that 3 made by Morgan Hildebrand. She plays volleyball. I know she golfs, and obviously out here on the hardwood. And just one of those up-and-coming, just a sophomore, but definitely kind of growing into a bigger role this year on this team.
Yeah, I think this year it'll be more about also playmaking, ball handling, not just that three-point shot, but being able to have a more well-rounded game of impact.
And that one looks to be, no, it is. I thought they were going to rule that off of Frankie Long, but Ella Faust loses it along the baseline, and Kinsley Bowie will line up to inbound to Morgan Hildebrand, who will run the point here. 2:32 to go in the third quarter as the Bobcats with the lead on the road by 6. As Bowie checks out head coach Brian Murphy for the play call into the front court to Georgia Jansen. They drop it, tied up, throws it to Hildebrand. That'll be it over and back, and it will be back to the Lincoln Railsplitters right here. As Amara Johnson will check out of the contest. And I believe they're going to... Amara did check back in. As she checks out, excuse me. Now we're getting it. I did not see Mallory Meyer, and she checks in for the Bobcats. We saw her with good minutes last Tuesday.
Yeah, defensively, she's ahead of where she is offensively as the Bobcats just fall asleep. And Coyote wide open for the 2.
It's a team bringing back a decent amount of, I know Coyote played quite a bit last year, Ochoa as well. I mean, this is definitely, you can see a little bit more of an improved Lincoln basketball team as Amara Johnson gets into the front court.
Well, they've already scored 6 more points than they did last year. But one thing that you can see between that year 1 and year 2, you get that off-season growth of what the coach wants to instill, not just X's and O's, but culture-wise, intensity-wise. And you can just tell this is a different Railsplitters squad. And it feels the Bobcats are a little on their heels, not expecting the physicality that they're seeing.
Bounce pass inbounds to Hildebrand, opens up in the paint, floater, counted, it's good for 2. 31-25, Bobcats leading now with 1:45 to go in this third quarter, and a couple of big buckets from the sophomore guard for the Bobcats, and that one knocked away. Georgia Jansen, I believe, is going to pick up a blocking foul, but man, it's good to see the Bobcats shooting, because they really struggled against South Tama offensively.
Well, I was just doing the quick math here. You see Morgan taking it to the rack up off the glass and in. Is the Cats in this quarter have scored 4 more points than they did in the second half last week, only scoring 8 points in the second half against South Tama.
Well, this one knocked away from Millie Heitman. It will stay with the Bobcats. But, early on, you always kind of expect that to some degree. I mean, all the practice, but the game-like situations always makes that shooting a little bit of a different element.
Well, they always say defense outpaces offense usually, just because offense you have to have a little bit of that finesse. Doesn't always take skill, just want to on defense. Offense is just getting into the rhythm of it, and that always comes a little bit behind.
So a week off since their last game. Jansen drives inside, cut off. Meyerning keeps it in the offensive end. Floater in the paint. Count that bucket right there for Amara Johnson. Oh, man, you love to see the little guard getting in the action.
Yeah, Bobcats were lucky. Some lackadaisical, lazy movement out on the perimeter, but Amara grabbed it and said, I'm going to take care of it. She's got a game-high 9.
Choa way off on the 3. She loves that right wing 3, but couldn't find it, and now a Bobcat foul on the rebound as we take a look at our official coming to the near side here for the indication, and the foul will come in on Millie Heitman, and that is just her first foul of the night here tonight as that sends the Rails to the free throw line. We saw her shooting earlier. Corlin Brown at the line again, and the first one, it is no good. Second free throw to come. As Myron has checked out. Mary Johnson is back in our contest, and a tie-up on the free throw. It was no good. The second one on Brown, but then a tie-up possession arrow should be with the Bobcats here, and it will be with the red and blue.
That is the 8th jump ball of the night. There's been a lot.
We set a record last Tuesday.
Yeah, yes, we did, and we're here to break it. You know what? Records are made to be broken, but the Cats seem to have offensively come into a much better rhythm here in the third quarter. They took the punch. Nice little 1-2 player. Frankie can't finish. Reverse can't finish. Railsplitters do a nice job of clearing that out.
Frankie also looks a little more comfortable here tonight. I feel like last week that pressure from South Tama, that was a very physical game, but, you know, Bobcats get the ball back right here, but seeing her and how she handles that pressure is another thing, because we saw her last year. The blocks were some of the best in the state. Rebounding was some of the best in the state, but it was that offensive end, and when she would get double or triple teams, she just looked like the thing she wanted to do the most was pass it to somebody else and get it out of there.
Yeah, she seems to be doing quite a bit better about knowing what she wants to do with the basketball as a carry is called on Amara. One of the differences, again, we see she looks very comfortable tonight, and I think it's because she's getting the interior pass in a place she can utilize the basketball. She's not having to get it around her knees.
Inside the paint, cut off. Georgia Jansen says, "Give me that." And she comes away with a turnover, but then Amara Johnson is bumped in transition by Coyote. And that will be a travel before that. I thought they were going to roll a foul first, but no, it is going to be a travel on Amara Johnson in a tough situation with a Lincoln defender right on her after receiving that pass from Heitman. So Rails have it, and a blow by, but a missed shot inside by Coyote. And the Cats have it for the last shot of the third quarter. Heitman pulls up, long range. Oh, off the iron on the front side. And the Cats will take an 8-point lead in the fourth quarter, 33-25. When we come back to the Lincoln Roundhouse, Cats looking to go 2-0 on the season. Right here on your home for the Cats, KFJB-TV.
In Iowa, we are fortunate to have a lot of opportunities to get involved in at our schools.
Athletics and activities have so many positive effects. From learning how to build relationships and healthy lifestyles,
and gain self-esteem and confidence.
Make participation a priority. You and your school will benefit.
Head coach Brian Murphy talking to his squad with a 33-25 lead heading into the fourth quarter. Boys game coming up right around the corner here tonight. So Bobcats on the road. They'll be back home Thursday night and Friday night with matchups against the Cardinals of Newton on Thursday and the Scarlets of Des Moines East on Friday night. And, of course, Bobcats looking to get off to a 2-0 start on the road here tonight. I really feel like this game is so pivotal for the boys and the girls. It really sets the tone for your week.
I think so, especially you see the girls here. Can they withstand the punch? They're up 8. Can their defense lock in? It was one of the best defensive teams in Bobcat history last year. They just offensively couldn't score as much. But for the guys, first game of the night, girls were able to play last week. Guys need to get off to a good start here tonight.
Get into the front court as we start this fourth quarter. Johnson and
looks like, was it a warning on the sideline?
I think it might be a warning on the near side. Maybe a little chippiness over there as Amara Johnson was guarding on Langford. Maybe they didn't like exactly the physicality there. Inbound goes into the paint. They'll back it out from the left block. Now to the left wing. 3 is no good. And Hildebrand is there. It was a coach warning being told by our camera crew. Thanks for that. Our very own Keith Stewart down Roman on the floor. Heitman hesitates, kicks now. Hildebrand wide open for the three. It skims off the far side. Johnson gets the rebound, has it ripped away by Langford. She's going to run the floor, no numbers. And Amara Johnson from behind tips it away. Langford gets it back, out of control. She'll drive down to the left block, kicks it out to the right wing, and now a drive back in, and Long is going to pick up her fourth foul of the night. Count the bucket going inside for the score as Faust in the and one coming.
Yeah, you look at Ella Faust there. She's already 2 for 2 from the line, but Frankie was not quick enough to cut that off. A nice little floater gets the and one opportunity, but more importantly, number 4-4 is on the bench.
And she'll check out with those 4 fouls. And Megan Heitman to kind of explain it. Maybe got to get that chest up and get to the ball a little bit quicker on that play. Free throw is no good. A scrum for it on the floor and a timeout called. As waiting on the floor with a basketball, Coyote. Timeout with 7:03. Cats lead 33-27.
When you go home, you'll feel good about what you did, and you're doing it for the kids. If they don't have us, they don't have these games.
Bobcats force a turnover coming out of the timeout by the Rails, and Morgan Hildebrand with a great drive in transition. Got the feed from Amara Johnson, winning strong on the left side of the rack.
Yeah, she got the throw ahead here. She hesitates and says, I like that matchup. I'm going to get myself 2. She'll have to earn them on the line.
This one is no good. As Hildebrand, a sophomore with a ton of playing time in her freshman season. Second free throw to come as it is Heitman, Johnson, Hildebrand, Bowie, and Jansen. 5 of the floor as the second one is good. As that will extend the Bobcat lead 34-27 on the road at Lincoln tonight. And Amara Johnson with a straight-up steal and then a reach-in foul on Stonehawker. And it will still remain with a basketball for the Bobcats. Second foul on Stonehawker here tonight. Boy, that's some good, tough defense right there, Dylan.
And that's what the Cats missed much of last year, is that on-the-ball defender. Like, Amara wasn't going anywhere. 5'2", 5'3", whatever she is, as she slips and travels there, but she is quick enough to stay in front of anybody in the league, and there she created a turnover.
We were slipping on dust up here in the press box because we found out that Dylan's score charts from last year are still up here. They have not emptied out. I think we love this place, but I think the press box up here is a little underutilized.
It's a little bit of an Airbnb situation where you're supposed to take out your own trash before you check out.
So I don't know if we can get Keith down there to mop the floor real quick or what, but a little discussion here as Lily Heitman is getting checked out real quick by the trainer. Looks like she is okay to check back in. Does she have a little blood right there on her knee, I think?
It looks like it. If you've ever had that floor burn, basketball floor burn, you're about to get a little bit of that cut, and then it's that one that just gets enough of your skin that it stings for the rest of the night.
They need that turf tape like in football.
That's right. Get some turf tape on there. It'll look good. It'll look perfect.
Second steal in a row for Amara Johnson, who is really being a dog on that defense out there tonight. She gets tied up top, and she's calling for a foul. And we have 2 whistles on the floor. The ball's going to be on the far side, but I believe we are going to have a foul. And yes, it is going to come in here. And that will be on Brown picking up the foul, as that will be her second foul of the night.
And one of the things that Americans sometimes do, that that foul, we were bailed out because it was a lot of just kind of over dribbling in that top side. Is like sometimes dribble with intent, dribble to, move the basketball and get your players in position where you want. And Coach Murphy thinks the same and takes a timeout.
So a timeout for the Cats. They lead 34-27. We'll take it with them on KFJB-TV.
In Iowa, we are fortunate to have a lot of opportunities to get involved in at our schools.
Athletics and activities have so many positive effects, from learning how to build relationships
and healthy lifestyles.
And gain self-esteem and confidence.
Make participation a priority. You and your school will benefit.
There you get a look at Frankie Long, being told it's her 17th birthday today for Frankie Long. So happy birthday to Frankie, one of our favorite Bobcat ladies.
I hope her parents brought treats enough for everyone.
Gluten-free?
Gluten-free.
Vegan?
Let's do it. Cauliflower crust pizza with a vegan cheese and some basil, and it'll be nice.
Here I was thinking you wanted cupcakes, but you want a margarita pizza.
I want a margarita pizza.
I love a margarita pizza. They're the best. Go to Louisville, Colorado. They've got a great pizza joint there. They've also got an ice cream shop, which is connected to it. I mean, that's no better business plan than that.
Calzone and a gelato all together. A nice take to the rack, no good there for Jansen. But yeah, Louisville, Colorado's on my bucket list, right underneath Paris, France.
Hildebrand off the back of the iron, no good. She had a nice little run there in the third. Amara Johnson nearly forcing a turnover. That one's going to be off the foot of Jansen, and it will be Railsplitter basketball, 34-27, as we are approaching the midway point of this fourth quarter, as the Bobcats trying to make sure the Rails don't inch their way back into this one. But, these two teams historically always matching up, especially on the guys' side. We've seen so many good games. This is kind of one of those games where it's not a rivalry technically, but these teams definitely love to play each other.
Yeah, I think so, and I think it goes outside of just basketball as well, but it's always a hard-fought contest. It's always some talented kids going at it, and sometimes with a bit of their chip on their shoulders. Maybe they think they're overlooked compared to people maybe outside of in the metro area, so always good competition.
Heitman with a nice rebound, flips it underhand to Amara Johnson, who speeds across the timeline. Hesitation move and a push foul from behind. It's going to come in on Brown again. That'll quickly be her third, as she's picked up a couple of fouls in this quarter.
Next foul will be the bonus for the Cats, but again, it just shows you Amara's just her value to the team, able to beat that pressure by herself, just dribbling hard up the sideline.
Missing nearly a month and a half of the basketball season last year with that leg injury, and of course being a pivotal piece of the puzzle for head coach Brian Murphy. And a shooting foul inside, driving was Langford. She's going to head to the line for two free throws, as that will be the second foul on Millie Heitman.
Cats just feel like they're just off tonight. If it be a layup, if it be a dribble to the rack, they've had opportunities. This could be a 20-point ball game, but right now it's two possessions with just over 5 minutes to go.
Similar to last Tuesday night, they just couldn't put South Tama away.
Yeah, they couldn't put South Tama away. They got into foul trouble, and then they were playing, kind of a little bit with their hair on fire and knocking down two free throws. This is a 5-point ball game, 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, Langford with two big free throws right there, like Dylan alluded to. Heitman on the right wing. Drives to the free throw line inside. Leaner is no good, and a tough rebound brought in by Coyote, but a travel in transition, and it's right back to the Bobcats with 4:54 to go in the fourth quarter. Big turnover right there.
Yeah, Millie missed the bunny, but did a nice job of coming back and kind of got into her blind side and caused Coyote to foul. And the inbounds here from Millie, looking inside, gets it out to Amara Johnson. She's going to hold. Now she's going to dribble top of the key. Reverse dribble, takes it up off the glass, and good. The bump and the bucket. Chance for three for Amara Johnson. She's got 11 on the night.
Man, she is so fun to watch. And, you know, once she came back, I believe she played in 9 games last year in the end. But that is just the difference that she can bring is that blow-by speed.
Yeah, Cats just didn't have it. They didn't have anybody that could kind of create their own shot and get to the rack that way. And she leaves that one short, but Frankie doesn't. Gets it up, and she'll go. Actually, Morgan Hildebrandt, she played. No, that was Frankie. My eyes are bad. She's turning 17. I'm much older, and my eyes are going from up here in the press box.
Yeah, so Frankie Long with 2 free throws to come here as Bobcats are in the bonus now throughout the rest of this basketball game. And the first one for Frankie Long on her birthday. Rolls that one in. And he makes it 37-29 now. Second free throw to come for Frankie Long. But that all started off the miss. She tipped that basketball out and gave themselves an opportunity for the rebound.
Yeah, she did a nice job of keeping that ball active. And Lincoln, you're going to have to box her out and then go get the basketball. Didn't do that, but the Cats get 1 out of 2. Frankie 3 of 7 from the line tonight.
Heitman with a beautiful steal, goes up strong, and that is a big hack by Signs. Heitman going to the line for 2 free throws. Signs picks up her second foul of the night. That was a frustration foul all the way right there as we take a look at the Tyler Pashong State Farm replay.
Yeah, the length that Marshalltown has on the perimeter with Millie and Georgia has really given Lincoln problems here in the second half. Cats have been able to extend from a 2-point halftime lead out to this 8-point lead because of those long arms and passing lanes. They need to start executing at the line to put this one away.
Heitman missing the first one. Second free throw to come as we approach the midway point of this fourth quarter. It's no good, but Long with another rebound, gets it back again. Turnaround, works inside, up and under, fouled. No good on the shot, but 2 free throws coming for Frankie Long at the stripe for the Bobcats, who are just doing a great job beating the boards.
And that's where I would have liked, if you're going to take a dribble, take a 2-handed power dribble, go straight back up. She kind of played a little finesse around the rim, go through somebody, get to the rack, put in 2, get your third at the free throw line.
Nice crowd working in here at John Carl Court as Frankie Long puts in the first free throw. And she has 8 points tonight. Leading scorer Amara Johnson with 11. Georgia Jansen with 6 tonight, having a nice performance. And the birthday girl puts in both free throws to make it a 10-point lead now for the Bobcats with just under 4.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter as Lincoln with Langford brings it in and take it away. What a beautiful defensive play. Bobcats in transition. Jansen kicks late. It's knocked out of bounds by Langford. You're almost probably, if you're Brian Murphy, you're saying, Georgia, just take that all the way.
Yeah, Georgia sometimes gets a little indecisive right at the end. That's when you just put it up, get the 2. If you don't make it at the line. But what a block by Frankie Long at the other end, just swatting it out of there.
Top blockers in the state a year ago. She gets the feed inside, up and under move again. This time it's good. Frankie Long with a beautiful play inside as she now has 11, and the Bobcats leading by 11 on the road. Wide open 3 for Ochoa. She'll answer, and Ochoa with another big shot. She's got 9 on the evening. And we do have a timeout on the floor. We'll take it with them as the Rails try to hang around with the Cats on a Super Tuesday on KFJB-TV.
In Iowa, we are fortunate to have a lot of opportunities to get involved in at our schools.
Athletics and activities have so many positive effects, from learning how to build relationships
and healthy lifestyles.
And gain self-esteem and confidence.
Make participation a priority. You and your school will benefit.
Lincoln Roundhouse. Rails trailing to the Marshalltown Bobcats, 41-32. Bobcat basketball after the made three by Ochoa. Inbound taken away by Langford, but she slipped on the court again. I hope they get some brooms out here in between games.
Yeah, this is running like the Y court out here. Lots of dust. But the Cats with just a lazy inbounds pass. They've got to be much crisper with the inbounds to break this press.
Heitman gets the basketball over the 10-second line. She'll go to left wing, turns around, looking inside as they post up, feed to Frankie Long. Up and under again. Count it! Frankie Long having a big night on the road. 13 now.
This feels like the Frankie domination we've talked about as a possibility over the last couple years. And there she's bringing it, rebound and everything. Coach wants a foul for Lincoln, but no foul called.
Frankie's got to have a double-double, right?
Oh, yeah, Frankie's got a double-double. She's been great on the offensive and defensive glass to go with a couple blocks as well.
Heitman looking inside for Frankie Long again. And she'll feed it back out to Heitman. Around the perimeter they go. Skip pass over to Johnson. Blows by the defender. Langford. Count that layup. Yes, Amara Johnson with 13 to match Frankie Long.
There's a lot to like about this senior class, but the junior class is balling out here tonight. Big three by Lincoln.
Langford answers to keep it within 10. Jansen gets it to Heitman. Looking for his screen. Long hits the floor. Inside to Jansen on the baseline. Has it tipped away. Langford runs the floor. Long getting back defensively. Limping a little bit. Gets the rebound. She kind of got her knee bumped in that play as Signs hit the deck as she was guarding on Amara Johnson. And Frankie definitely looks like she's a little bit bothered on that last play offensively. Johnson will control it at the top of the key. Down the left side of the paint. Scoop and score. No good. Long trails with the rebound. The putback is no good. But the foul coming in on Faust. That will be number 5, and she'll be out of the game.
Frankie has just dominated this fourth quarter, and good on the Bobcats. They're recognizing it and going to the glass. Even though Amara took the shot, she knew that if I can get around my person, get it up off the glass, she knows that it's going to be Heitman or Long on the backside of that, being able to scoop up the offensive rebound.
2:10 to go. Frankie Long at the line for 2 after Faust just fouled out of the game. And it's good. 14 now for Frankie Long. Having a nice night, not only scoring-wise, defensively, but also at the stripe.
Yeah, she's really been good. Started off a little bit shaky. She's made 3 out of her last 3 free throws, 4 out of 5 here in this fourth quarter. She's got 8 of her 14 in the last 5 minutes.
Second one is no good. We'll stay at an 11-point game. Good defense in the backcourt by Bowie. They get it over just in time, but stolen away by Heitman. She'll run it out. The layup. Oh, she stumbled a little bit, but I believe there was a push by Signs and a foul called, and that will be number 4 on Signs. She's picked up 3 of her 4 fouls tonight here alone in the fourth quarter.
You love to see maybe just drop that ahead to Amara off the left side, just kind of kick it ahead, but Millie can make up for it by making 2 here at the line.
The senior will knock down the first. And Signs will check out as Stonehawker is back into the contest for Lincoln. Frankie looks to be okay. She was bumped up a little bit. That knee was bothering her for a moment as Heitman's second free throw is short, and Lincoln will come away with the rebound.
And some of it may just be a little bit gassed here in the fourth quarter. Frankie's played a lot of minutes, getting bumped and pushed and being physical herself.
Lincoln saves it off the missed 3. Langford, baseline, jumper's no good. Long skies for the rebound, outlets to Heitman. 90 seconds to go as the Bobcats look to go to 2-0 on the season with a road victory here tonight. Drop it into Long, but it was a little bit high. She had to bring it down and lost it. Ochoa will bring it up. Ochoa gets the feed, and a walk and a travel as Brown was trying to get it to Ochoa, but a turnover and back to the Cats with 1:18 to go.
Yeah, Stonehawker saw the wide open shot, took a step and then a hop, and you cannot do that. Cats have done a nice job of being resilient here tonight with that 2-point halftime lead. Now at 12, you see the Bobcats getting ready to come on out. See a couple freshmen there and a couple seniors as well. Big night for those gentlemen waiting in the tunnel.
Long. Oh, what a beautiful hook shot. Turnaround in the paint for Frankie Long to add to her night, 16. But she's turning 17.
Let's get her to the free throw line. Let's make it a golden score. There's golden birthdays. This would be the golden score.
51 seconds to go. Back to the Cats here as Heitman will inbound. Good victory, though, here tonight. It looked like there in the third quarter, Lincoln was really going to try to keep this thing tight, but the Bobcats, to their credit, knocked down a few big free throws and made some really good plays inside the paint.
Yeah, and this is a much better Lincoln team. Last year, they were feisty. This year, they're physical, and I think that's a big difference. There's a difference between a gnat and a hawk, right? And one comes and is going to attack you. Nice job of the Cats being able to break it there.
Jansen almost steps out of bounds. And the Bobcats will save it as they get it to Amara Johnson. Reach-in foul is going to come in on Brown. That is her 5th of the night. She'll also be out of the game. So 2 Lincoln players have fouled out here tonight as Amara Johnson gets back to the free throw line. 13 points for her. That's got to be a confidence boost coming off an injury-plagued season a year ago.
Well, and it seemed South Tama Amara can get a little bit faster than her feet should go, and it felt maybe a little bit of that against South Tama tonight. She feels much more under control. She looks to be at 100%. You could not tell she had a leg injury whatsoever as she makes the first free throw.
Well, the Bobcats only got to 30 last Tuesday, but 50-point performance here tonight. As Amara Johnson's second free throw is up, and this one off the left side of the iron.
Yeah, it really has been. The Bobcats have been consistent. Haven't made everything, but they've been consistent to get it to the rack, get into their sets. Last week, 26 turnovers, way too many. They've had a few here tonight, but not near 26.
34 seconds to go as the Bobcats with the basketball back. Leading by 15 late here on the road. Go to 2-0 and take on the Newton Cardinals coming up on Thursday night. We'll have that game for you starting at 6 o'clock right here on your home for the Cats, KFJB-TV. Heitman out high. The shot clock is up. Bobcats can just try to play keep away here. And a bump. And more free throws for the Cats here. And that'll be number 5 as well. As out of the game will be Jumi Coyote.
And Coyote had a great game. She had 9 points, good defensively. Really the spark plug, probably the most offensively talented one off the bounce. Ochoa shoots it well, but Coyote really brought that energy all night.
Free throw is good by Heitman. Makes it 51-35 now with 17 seconds to go in the girls' game. And the second one good as well. 52-35. Lincoln. Langford into the front court. Takes a long shot. It is good for 3. 52-38 now. And the Bobcats will run out the remaining time. Bobcats go to 2-0 on the season. 52-38. Final thoughts on this girls' game here tonight.
It wasn't, that second quarter was really rough. Cats struggled matching intensity. That second half, they got it rolling. The fourth quarter specifically, Frankie Long dominated, and the guards made sure she did. They got her the ball where she needed it, and when she didn't get the ball, she went and got it off the glass. Great job by the Cats to battle a 14-point victory.
52-38, the final score in the girls' game. Boys tip off the season right now on KFJB-TV. Into the front court with 5 seconds. Finds Jacob Hayes for the 3. Yeah! At the buzzer it goes! House flips it underhand to Kyle Smith. Wide open splash. Knocks
Knocks it down near side. Here goes Hayes down the right side of the paint. Count the bucket. Yeah. Now to Gersman down the key as he had nothing going. Gersman inside. Scores the bucket. Smith stumbling away, did gather it in. He now drives to the free throw line. Turnaround jumper. Boom! Wow, what a start.
Well, we've been waiting 9 months, and we are finally here. The season tip-off for Marshalltown Boys Basketball. Boy, a whole new face on the other side for Lincoln. Meanwhile, a lot of new faces for the Bobcats. This one really comes down to who's going to play the more disciplined game tonight.
And I think who wants to know not just discipline, but who knows who they are the earliest? Where are you going to go to get your bucket? Who's the one you're going to play through? Those are all big questions that every team has to answer. For the Cats, outside of Mason City, the Cats return the most production. But tonight, as we mentioned earlier on, they are starting 2 freshmen. And it has to come, will these freshmen play like upperclassmen, or are the bright lights going to be too bright for them tonight?
We will find that out as we roll along with our countdown to tip-off. Coming up, our Cat Connection and our pregame chat with head coach Michael Apple. This is Bobcat Basketball. You're watching KFJB-TV.
The right insurance agent can make all the difference. Assured Partners agents represent multiple insurance companies. They can pick and choose from a larger variety of outstanding insurance options. Assured Partners also handles life and health insurance and Medicare supplement coverage. With access to local, regional, and national insurance companies, Assured Partners will create policies tailored to the coverage you need. For more information, go online to assuredpartners.com/Marshalltown. Power through partnership with Assured Partners in Marshalltown, Toledo, and West Des Moines.
The Cat Connection, powered by State Farm, mtownproud.com.
It is our Cat Connection, all brought to you by mtownproud.com. Tyler Prashong, State Farm, here with Kyle Smith for the Marshalltown Bobcats. 77 threes made your sophomore year, 71 last year. What happened?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
You put together 2 tremendous seasons back-to-back. Number 1 in three-point shooting your sophomore year. Number 2 your junior year. But the difference that Dylan and I saw when we were calling games last year is that, unlike your sophomore year, you were kind of just that catch-and-shoot guy. Last year, you mixed in a little bit of your inside game. We saw you fall in love with kind of that free-throw line jumper as well. So you kind of add a little bit more to your bag of tricks. How much do you think that kind of helped your game, maybe the flow, maybe the team overall?
Yeah, no, it definitely helps a lot. Teams are going to be scouting me as, maybe a three-point player. So being able to get to my spots and be able to get to the, places I need to be is just going to help my game overall. I mean, it's not going to help me. It's going to help, the teammates around me too. And it's just been good.
I know that, I see a little bit. I don't see all the work that you put in the off season, and when you're trying to sneak in during football season as well, too, into the gym. Almost can't keep a basketball out of your hands, but to nail 77 and 71 back-to-back, and that just speaks to the consistency. What kind of work goes into making that even a possibility?
Yeah, no, it's getting in the gym every day, getting up shots, when no one may be seeing those, getting those hours in when no one's seeing that. So it's a constant grind every single day, but, I'm happy to do it, and, I'm just glad to do it and be a part of it.
Yeah. All right, so senior year already, hard to believe for you. What kind of things have maybe you added to your bag of tricks, like we mentioned, to be able to offer on the offensive end of things? Is there any new wrinkles, anything you've been kind of working on?
Mostly just trying to get to the line a little more. I didn't get to the line as much as I might have wanted to last year. So I'm trying to just get that, extra 6 to 8 free throws a game and, just be able to help my team in the best possible way we possibly can this year.
How do you get that? Is it driving inside more or what?
Yep, driving inside, trying to draw fouls, get more guys on me. Mostly driving in, though, for the most part, though.
How difficult is it, especially at the high school level, to get open when the other team is going to throw at least maybe a couple guys, or they're going to switch a lot to make sure that they find you either off a screen or in transition?
Yeah, it's pretty important, but, if those guys are coming over and helping me. I know Drake and, a couple other people are going to be able to make their moves and get to the paint. So, drawing those defenders, it honestly helps the team better. So, if I'm not scoring, it doesn't matter at all. As long as we go out there, get the win, and just go out there and compete is the main thing for me.
Yeah. You rely so much, especially in kind of a catch-and-shoot role, on your point guard, getting you, finding you the ball, that kind of thing. We saw Drake Gersma only get it more improved as the season went along. What's he been like this year in handling that offense heading into the season?
Oh, he's been so much better. Just it's like day and night from last year to this year. He's had just so much more confidence this year, and just the way he wants to get to the paint and get others involved, and just his role as becoming a leader. It's expanded way more than it has last year, and I'm just very proud of him and just what all the other guys have done. Put in the work and get some wins this season.
One thing that has always made the basketball program good is if we've got that heart, hustle, muscle guy. We had Braden Weatherly a few years back. Last year it was Lamar Johnson. I mean, he was doing some of the dirty work down there. Who's that guy on this team this year?
I got to go with, I would say, Lars.
Okay.
Lars has actually he's been going in there getting boards, trying to just get the dirty work done, and it's really paying off. You can tell that he's worked hard at it, and I'm just super happy for him, and super happy to be able to play with him this year.
That's got to be high praise because he's only a freshman.
No, it is very high praise, very high praise. I wasn't expecting it, but he came in and he's doing the work, and it's paying off for sure.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to see a few new guys into the rotation this year that we haven't seen in the past. So how key is it early on to be good communicators, to make sure that everybody's on the same page, and also for new guys getting in the mix, you got to make them feel comfortable to a degree too, right?
I mean, it's just being a leader. You got to go out there. I mean, stepping up and being a leader. When I was a freshman, these guys didn't tell me, not to stop shooting or, swing the, pass the ball up more than you're shooting. So, being a leader out there and just telling them, you're good and, you got the next shot, you're going to make mistakes and no one's perfect. And we all know that. So, it's just getting that in their head and, telling them that you're going to be totally fine. And, it's your first year. So you got to have a little leniency with them. So it's just really going in and getting them grace, but also, being hard at them on times too.
I know you and your dad like to get together after the games and rewatch them on KFJB-TV, but when you're not watching KFJB-TV, what games of college basketball or pro do you like to kind of watch and see how guys are executing and that kind of thing?
That is a good question. I usually, we do watch Iowa in the past, but they haven't played much defense in the past, so we haven't really watched it that much. But the offensive standpoints with the Sanford brothers and stuff, I kind of try to play my role like them and watch them and see how they play. So, but mostly we really go out and watch mostly everything. We're a big fan of most teams. We just like to see good basketball go around.
You never played against them. Did you watch them though? Because your brother was on those teams.
No, I never played against them. I would have been a couple years above them, but I believe my brother was on varsity when they were playing them. So that was a pretty tough team to go against.
Yeah, that is for sure. Well, we're hoping this is a really tough team to go against here for the Marshalltown Bobcats this year. Best of luck senior year.
Yeah, thanks, Brandon. I appreciate it.
That is Kyle Smith for the Marshalltown Bobcats on our Cat Connection, all brought to you by Tyler Pashong, State Farm, mtownproud.com.
Like any good neighbor, sometimes you move. Here at Tyler Pashong State Farm, we have moved to our new office location at 2110 South Center Street here in Marshalltown. I'm Tyler Pashong. I'm so proud of my team and what we have helped build, but we couldn't have done it without you. We are passionate about what we do and care about the community we serve. I invite you to our new location and see how we can make a positive impact in your life.
We'd love to talk to you about what makes you
M-Town proud.
Brown's Shoe Fit has a great selection of athletic footwear, including Hoka, Brooks, On Cloud, Birkenstock, and Taos. Brown's Shoe Fit can find the right shoe for every occasion for both men and women, including dress shoes, casual shoes, work boots, and more. They carry multiple sizes and widths to ensure the best fit for you. Their expert-friendly staff will take the time to give you the service you deserve. Brown's Shoe Fit, downtown Marshalltown, with you every step of the way.
Welcome back into the Countdown to Tip-Off. It is the Bobcats and Railsplitters tonight on KFJB-TV. Welcome in head coach Mike Apple. And, Coach, it is what it's all about. The season tip-off here tonight. past 9 months, coming off a really good end of the season, I thought. Your team really challenged hard in postseason play against Mason City and Linn-Mar, two really good opponents. How do you kind of keep that momentum going? How's the offseason been, kind of smoothing that transition coming back into this year?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a momentum thing with that much time off, but it's definitely something to build off of and just keep working hard is the biggest thing and improve our games in the off season and commit to things we're doing in the off season and in in June we did a really nice job of making sure everyone was there that we kind of needed to be there other than the guys playing baseball. Obviously that's hard for them to be at a lot of stuff, but I thought it was great for us. And then the kind of the start of this season here, our guys have been working really hard and trying to improve every single day.
Health-wise, how you doing? I know Jamison Niehaus will not be in the starting lineup. Drake Gersma will play tonight, but how you feeling health-wise heading into this year?
It is what it is. You can't really control that. Jamison wants to play tonight, but we obviously can't. He's a very he's a competitor in that way, but he'll have surgery actually tomorrow, and it's a deal where hopefully around Christmas time or Christmas break there he'll be back and ready for us, and so we can't really control obviously who's not on the court. We got to really just focus on that next man up and be ready to go, and starting some younger guys tonight, but that's the reality of where we're at, and we got to roll with it.
That heart, hustle, and muscle guy a year ago was Lamar Johnson, a tough guy to replace because he did a lot of the dirty work for you. I asked Kyle Smith who he thought would kind of step into that role, and he mentioned the freshman, Lars Schoenfelder, has kind of impressed him. What do you expect out of the freshman coming into a big game like this on the road?
Well, with Lars, I think he's not your average looking freshman. Just his physicality, I think he'll be okay there. He moves well enough. He's a smart player. He was working extremely hard. He's got an assignment tonight on defense where we're kind of got him on one of their best players that can shoot it well. So that's kind of where you use him, and his ability to rebound. He offensive rebounds extremely well. He attacks the glass on every shot. So those are areas that's really hard to kind of teach and coach and be able to do that every day. And he does a lot of those intangible things that you need to have success on a team.
Yeah, and you bring back your starting point guard from a year ago. We really thought that through the season we saw Drake Gersma really take that step forward and command that offense on that end of things. How has he kind of continued to build on that coming into this year?
I think just physically he's gotten a lot stronger. He's gotten a lot better with his ball handling. He's committed a lot of time to it. He's worked a lot on his shot, tweaking some things fundamentally there. Just the guy that continues to work at it most every day and to get better. And you were definitely seeing that with his progression here as he goes into his junior season.
Yeah, 77 three-pointers his sophomore year, 71 for Kyle Smith his junior season. He obviously added a little bit to his game last year, a little bit more inside. We saw him with a really good free throw line jumper at times. What has he kind of added to his repertoire, in your opinion, that is going to make him even more of a scoring threat this year?
Yeah, I think like you touched on, just being a little more aggressive to the rim at times, depending on how guys are guarding him. He's the guy that has the ability to post it up. He's got good footwork. He's got some moves he can go to there. So just not necessarily relying all the time on that on the three. If he's open, he's going to shoot it. There's been a few times this year in practice even, it's like you're shooting that if you're open. Like there's no other option here. So, at least he's thinking about going, trying to go to the rim and things like that. But, he's a threat, obviously. If he's got the ability and he's open, we're going to have him shoot those.
Yeah. I know you mentioned you got a little bit of a chance to get a look at this Railsplitters squad, but it's a whole new starting crew. They had 5 seniors starting a year ago. The guys starting tonight, a good chunk of them played last year in backup minutes. How do you get ready for a first game like this when you really don't have a whole lot of tape on a team like this?
No, you don't have really any. We were able to come watch. They had a scrimmage here open to the public, so we did get a chance to kind of see them in action a little bit, so that was beneficial for us to be able to come scout and watch them, just kind of see who they have and kind of what they're trying to do offensively. This new coach here, he's his third year maybe now. Yeah. He's done a great job. He really They play with structure. They understand their roles. They play hard. So it's going to be a tough test for us, coming out in the first game.
Always fun between the Railsplitters and the Bobcats. Good luck tonight, Coach.
Yep, thank you.
All right, that is head coach Mike Apple. When we come back, we take a look at the starting five for both squads as we continue with the countdown to tip-off right here on KFJB-TV.
Fall is officially delicious at your Marshalltown Dairy Queens. Try the all-new maple cookie shake, sweet, creamy, or dive into the ultimate duo, the Oreo Reese's Blizzard Treat. 2 icons, 1 cup, pure magic. Craving pumpkin spice everything? The Pumpkin Pie Blizzard Treat is back, loaded with real pumpkin pie pieces and topped with whipped cream and nutmeg. Or keep the summer vibes going with the Choco Dip Strawberry Blizzard Treat. A vacation in every bite. Hurry in. These fall flavors won't last forever. Happy tastes good at your Marshalltown Dairy Queens.
Back at John Carr Court for tonight's contest between the Lincoln Railsplitters and the Marshalltown Bobcats on a Super Tuesday. We tip off the season. Now time for tonight's starting lineups, all brought to you by Sandvik Enterprises in Marshalltown. Let them deliver for you while we deliver you the starting lineups. All right, it'll be Lionel Parks, Brian DeMeyer, Henry Fry, Bryce Page, and Caden Reeves, the starting five for head coach Connor Chiano in his second year. He's 3 years in the program. He had that interim tag removed as Justin Enerson was a previous head coach now at Dowling. Parks a year ago averaged 6 points per game and 4 rebounds, most experience out of the starting five heading into tonight. Meanwhile, for your Marshalltown Bobcats, starting five looks like this. Some fresh new faces, but some familiar ones as well. That's Gersma, as well as Kyle Smith and Jacob Hayes, the three big ones from a year ago returning. The new faces, Damian Segovia and Lars Schoenfelder, both freshmen, getting the start here tonight. That'll be key to see how they play. Of course, we know about Kyle Smith, 21st in scoring a year ago in Class 4A, 389 points. He nailed 71 threes. He is a senior at 6'3" back this year, and it all flowed through offensively for Drake Gersma, the starting point guard. That is our starting lineups. Again, all brought to you by Sandvik Enterprises. Tip-off between the Rails and the Cats when we come back on your home for the Cats, KFJB-TV.
Looking for top-notch eye care close to home? Eye Care Associates, with offices in Marshalltown, Conrad, and Toledo, has proudly served Central Iowa since 1990. Their expert team provides eye exams for all ages, designer frames, contact lens fittings, and treatment for glaucoma, cataracts, and other eye conditions. With advanced technology, a welcoming staff, and convenient online booking, your next visit is easier than ever. Visit visionsource-marshalltowneyecare.com today. Eye Care Associates, your vision is their priority.
The following is a presentation of Bobcat Athletics on KFJB-TV.
Tuesday and the season tip-off. Brandon Lewis, Dylan Doze alongside me. Great to have you along. Our producer David Braga and Zach Tomish and the one and only Keith Stewart roaming down on the hardwood here tonight. The season tip-off. And one thing that Dylan, you and I know, everybody around the Iowa Lions knows who Kyle Smith is. Will the big star rise to the occasion? Bobcats really want to start out a 3-game week on the right note here on the road tonight.
And Kyle Smith led the Bobcats in scoring all last year, but specifically in the 2 Lincoln games, he wasn't very efficient with his shot. So if Lincoln's going to blitz him, I'd love to see Kyle, especially early, play the role of a little bit of a playmaker. Drake Gersma was taking a step up. And then you look at other opportunities. Will Jacob Hayes get it off to Hayes? Will he be a little bit more aggressive offensively? If Kyle Smith can facilitate early, the shots will be open late.
Bobcats in blue, Rails in white. It's Hayes at midcourt. He'll jump against Lionel Parks, the 6'2 senior for the Rails. It is Iowa Lions conference action to tip the season off. The ball is up and we are underway. Parks will win it for the Rails. We'll drive to the left side of your TV screen. Great to have you along for the season tip-off tonight on the road in the Des Moines Metro. Inside to Parks. Gersma matches up on him. Back out high. Page swings it three. Well shorts. And the Cats come up with the basketball. Good defensive set to begin the game.
Absolutely great job. Get it one and done. Air ball. Now switch. Get into an offensive set.
Kyle Smith off a screen. They look to Gersma. Gersma with a great move. Free throw line has it tipped, and they're going to call foul as he rose up at the free throw line. 2 free throws coming. It's going to be on Parks, his first of the night, but Gersma with a nifty move.
A big rebound, come break some ankles and get 2 at the line. It's nice to see he was out of some practices earlier, not feeling 100%, and nice to see him at full bore right away.
Gersma at the line for 2 a year ago at the free throw line. Shot at 53%, and the first one is off the front of the iron. Gersma started 21 of 22 games a year ago against Lincoln. He had 9 points in the first matchup with 5 assists. Second go-around, 4 points and 4 assists in that contest. Lionel Parks, maybe he has a little bit of blood or something right here, but he's going to check out and get a look from the trainers.
And the big thing with Gersma with that 4-point, he had 3 fouls in the first half. He was in foul trouble right away down here, and that really was one of the big indicators of the blowout later in the game.
Second free throws up, and the Bobcats have the lead, 1-0 on the road. Lincoln leads the series 9-8 since 2007. Last year, a 59-51 win to begin the season, 65-46 late in the season back in February. And the Bobcats looking to reverse a 2-game slide to Lincoln. A great dump-off down low in the paint, and it's no good. Tipped out to Kyle Smith with a rebound as Reeves was not able to convert. Gersma pushes it over the timeline, hesitates, drives in, and a carry's going to be called.
Yeah, just a little bit of a carry. Like what he's going, kind of hesitate, wanting to blow right past him, but you can't get that hand all the way underneath.
So Lincoln basketball running the points. Adam Kwake as he has checked in for Lionel Parks. Free throw line, a pass and a late feed. It's going to go out of bounds. Last touch by the Bobcats. They were looking for Brian DeMeyer. All right, Dylan, your keys to the game tonight.
For the Cats, it's the Cats dozen, and really that comes down to Cats scored under 47 points a game last year, and the big thing is when Kyle was shooting, they'd score 20 in a quarter. When he wasn't, they'd score 2. I'm looking for a dozen points each quarter, and on the other side, it's the Frylis physicality. Where are you going to get the physical nature, the gusto, the intensity from the Railsplitters now that Charlie Fry's gone?
Turnover on the Rails. They lose it out of bounds. That's our keys to the game, all brought to you by First Rate Real Estate, FirstRateTeam.com. So 1-0. Bobcats leading on a free throw made by Drake Gersma. Kyle Smith, left wing. Good feed to Segovia, the freshman, with a great move inside. His first varsity bucket, and it's a beautiful one.
He's the first freshman to score since Drake Capello. He's only the 6th in Marshalltown history. He looked like he had been doing it all day long, looked completely under control.
DeMeyer off on the 3. Swing it to Segovia, near side. Seen him play quite a bit at the lower levels. The thing you can say about Segovia, he's got pretty good handles and pretty good court awareness as well. Over to the free throw line to Kyle Smith. Now back to Segovia. Oh, good spin move. Floater off the right side. There's Schoenfelder with a great offensive rebound. Kyle Smith traveled with the basketball, according to the far side official. He rose up with one leg, was trying to hesitate.
And Kyle didn't look like he disagreed too much. Nice little dribble by Segovia. Scoop off the glass for two. Freshmen so far look like they're ready for the spotlight. They're ready to play.
Well, that was one thing that Kyle Smith and head coach Mike Apple alluded to, that Lars Schoenfelder knows how to beat the boards and get those offensive rebounds.
Well, as a freshman, he's been on varsity baseball as an 8th grader, varsity football as a 9th grader. Huge three there by Kwaki.
So he gets his first bucket of the season right there, and it's a big one for the Rails as they tie it up with 5:10 to go in the opening quarter. Ursma way up high, goes to the right wing. Segovia dumps it into Hayes. Hayes talked to me a little bit about he'll play a little more inside than we've seen the past few years.
Yeah, coach wants him more than just sitting in the corner. He's got to be physical. He's got to be able to replace some of Johnson's minutes. Big turnover.
Schoenfelder was looking for Hayes, threw it away. Thought about a three on the near side for Kwaki. Did not go for it. Rails at the free throw line, and that's going to be another carry. Yeah, you saw it all the way there with DeMeyer. And we saw some carries in the girls' game, and now here in the boys' game as well. It's a call we don't always see at all levels.
Yeah, and you could tell that one was going to be called just because the one on Drake. That is a play that I've seen on both sides where those are not called. And it looked like he had control on the top of it, but a little bit of the hitch of the wrist got him called for it. Nice back cut.
Yeah, beautiful backdoor cut by Kyle Smith, and it's his first point of the season as the senior with a great cut down to the right block for the 2-point bucket. 5-3 Cats, runner in the paint. Good offensive rebound by Gersma as the runner was no good by DeMeyer. He's been off the mark to begin this one. Gersma gets it to Hayes, who is calling for it on the left wing. Looking around, finds Segovia. Fakes a shot, dumps it off. Back to the point guard. And the junior, little crossover move, moves to the right wing. And now back to the free throw line in the paint. Late kick to Segovia. Extra pass to Hayes. The three. Oh, off the right side of the iron. Offensive rebound, though. Great play there. Hayes with a tough move inside. It's a little bit strong. Schoenfelder with a great swat. Put back, no good. But 2 free throws for the freshman.
What a great job. First, the offensive rebound by Hayes, but then Schoenfelder not giving up on it. The reason when you talk to coaches of why Lars was going to be on varsity from the get-go is even as a freshman, he's got that varsity body plus that mentality. He is going to be physical. He is not going to wait for contact. He's going to seek it out.
First free throws off the back of the iron, no good for Schoenfelder. But Hayes with a nice take, but Schoenfelder just ripping that basketball away and going up strong, trying to convert for the 2-point bucket, but could not. So another free throw to come here with 3:34 to go in the opening quarter play. Bobcats with that 5-3 lead. And already their second trip to the free throw line tonight. Schoenfelder knocks down the second as he splits him at the line. Bobcats 2 of 4 at the stripe with a 6-3 lead, and a timeout taken by Lincoln. Head coach Connor Chiano, as you take a look at him in his second full year of leading the Lincoln Railsplitters. We take a timeout with him on KFJB-TV.
Good call tonight, man. You too? You think what I'm thinking? Let's go to Legends for a Bobcat burger.
Hi, guys. What are we hungry for today?
I think we're going to do 2 Bobcat burgers. Whether it's pre-game or post-game.
Or during the game, it's Legends American Grill in Marshalltown.
I'm Drake Grisman, and you're watching KFJB-TV.
Welcome back to John Carr Court. Out of a timeout by the Railsplitters. They were 11-12 a year ago, 5-5 in the Iowa Alliance Conference. They were really a gritty team, though. They ended up winning against Indianola in postseason play and then lost out to Waukee 52-41. They'll match up against Dowling coming up on Friday night. But, this is a big game for both of these teams. But obviously for Lincoln, it's just so much change, a whole new starting 5.
Yeah, and really, again, and I know I mentioned Charlie Fry a lot, but if you watch them, he was the heart. He wasn't always the highest scorer, but he was the heart, the motor that got them going. And right now, They're a little bit more perimeter-oriented, but a great job there of getting it up off the glass and in.
Manass Guy with his first bucket of the season as he was able to follow back off of a miss. Schoenfelder, the freshman on the right wing, swings it to Kyle Smith. Back to Gersma. They'll reset the offense. Hayes. Looking inside, maybe to Schoenfelder. Talon Halstead is checked in on the dead ball as he replaces Damian Segovia. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Turnaround three, no good. Schoenfelder almost got the rebound, but Lincoln beats him out. Quickly in transition, up to the near side wing, it's DeMeyer. Now back to Parks, he's back into the game. Scoop and score, it's off the mark. Bobcats trying to get that one away, and Talon Halstead, the senior, comes up with a nice rebound.
It's really important the 6'5 senior provides big minutes. He's the largest cat on the roster, and he's got to play big. Doesn't have to score a lot, but if he can block a couple shots, get some rebounds, that'll be a big deal.
He talked about that as exactly what his role is going to be this year. And if he can be that extra little piece in the wrinkle for the Bobcats, that'll be a huge piece at that. Off a screen, three! For number 2 in the state of Iowa a year ago with 71. He knocks down his first of the season. Many more to come for that guy right there. And Kyle Smith, who's got 5 on the night.
Back cut there from Lincoln. But, yeah, Kyle, he was allowed to be a facilitator, a decoy early, but then just walked into a wide-open three and knocked it down.
All out of bounds, and it is Bobcat basketball with a minute 43 as we take a look at the Tyler Pashong State Farm replay and lighten it up, and we are going to see a lot more of those this year. 77 his sophomore year, 71 a year ago. It's a kid who spends a lot of time in the gym. That's why he makes so many.
Yeah, Parks can't be late on that pick. He's got to be in his jersey because Kyle Smith's going to knock down that wide-open shot.
Kyle Smith trying to get wide open on the left wing. Couldn't fight through the defense. Good defense, and now another turnover as Kawaki comes up with it. Pushes the issue. Gersma with a great block from behind as the Bobcats find the loose basketball. And now Segovia getting back. He is bumped. He'll go to the line for 2 free throws, but Segovia getting back in transition. That's not a freshman out there, Dylan.
No, he plays, and I think that's why coaches were so high on him. Was he always a leading scorer at the lower levels? No, but he always makes the right decision. He's always puts the team in front of him. He's a good ball handler, smart basketball mind. He's got 3 so far.
Knocks down the first free throw. Also, in this first quarter, Bobcats doing a nice job to get to the line.
Yeah, Cats have been really aggressive at the glass, and Damian up there knocking down both of them. Really like the energy that we're seeing, specifically from the underclassmen.
Kick out to Parks, right wing. He's got a Kleenex in his left nostril. He did have a bloody nose earlier. Foul on the floor as he drives down to the right block. So fighting that bloody nose to begin the season here. It looks to be okay, and it will be on the baseline. And left side, and the foul comes in on the Bobcats. Jacob Hayes, his first of the night.
He's going to come out. Lars Schoenfelder back in. Parks does a great job. If contact doesn't come to you, if you've got somebody that's got his hip to you or isn't square to you, take it right to him. Get the foul on the Cats. Good play by Parks.
Page on the left wing. Feeds it over to Kwaki, who's at the top. Guarded by Segovia. Late kick. Page with the 3, way off the mark. Kyle Smith pass up to Lars Schoenfelder. He traveled with it. And that'll be back to Lincoln. This pass was in a tough situation for him to turn around and fire it back to Kyle Smith.
Yeah, Kyle should have kept that in his back pocket. He put it too close to the sideline for Lars to do anything with it.
11-5 Cat lead, opening quarter. On the opening night of the high school basketball season for the Bobcats, Talon Halstead with a nice block inside, but getting it right back was Manass Guy, but his putback is no good, and the Cats have the final shot here in the opening quarter.
Yeah, Manass Guy had a couple games against the Cats where he provided a little bit off the bench. Talon did a good job of being 6'5 and active.
Kyle Smith sets a screen for his guard. And a late pass down to Schoenfelder. Has the ball slip through his hands. Goes back to get it, and I believe it is going to be off of Lincoln. Parks touched that last. 4.7 seconds to go in the opening quarter, so the Bobcats will hang on to it for the final shot with an 11-5 lead on the road. Inbound. Fake the handoff. Gersma with 2 seconds. 1 second. Fires. Threes off the back of the iron. No good. Cats enjoy a lead on the road. Good intensity and good performance by the freshmen. And they head 11-5 to the second quarter on KFJB-TV.
At Lennox Employees Credit Union, you're more than a member, you're family. Since 1948, we've been helping members and their families save more, borrow smarter, and reach their financial goals. Whether it's a low-rate auto loan, a mortgage that feels manageable, or simply a savings account that grows with you, we're here to make banking simple and stress-free. Discover the credit union difference today. Visit Lennox Employees Credit Union, 1004 East Main in Marshalltown, where people helping people is more than a motto, it's who we are. Learn more at lennoxecu.com. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Kyle Smith with 5 points to begin the night. Damian Segovia, the freshman, with 4. And it's been the play of the freshman. And also, I want to say, this is a team where last year, we were saying who's going to create the energy. But you mentioned it already. There's been good energy out of this squad on the opening night.
Yeah, everybody's had good energy. Lars Schoenfelder won as a freshman's had great energy. Drake as well. Biggest thing is they're not having to hide the freshmen. A lot of times when you have underclassmen out there, you're like, all right, we're really playing 4-on-5 offense because we've got to hide somebody. That has not been the case. Lars Schoenfelder playing a little bit of that Lamar Johnson role where you may not run plays for him. He's going to go get his plays. Beyond that, everyone's really been able to bring something to the table.
Jacob Hayes inside just rolls off the front of the iron. He has not been able to find a bucket early on here tonight. He ended the season so hot. He made some big threes down the line, especially against Mason City. Threes off the side of the backboard, but it ping-pongs out to the left wing to Parks as he has it. Drives to the free throw line, picks up his dribble. Kawaki has it, drops it inside. Back out to Parks, and around the perimeter they go.
And we talked about
turnover here for Kyle Smith. He'll take it all the way. Parks bumps him. It's 2 free throws coming for Kyle Smith.
And I'll finish my point. In the pregame, we talked about first game of the season, who's going to know already how they want to play, who they want to play through. You see with the Cats, they're already settled into that. Lincoln is definitely missing some of those seniors, you can tell. With Parks being the only one coming back, they're still finding their way.
Kyle Smith knocks down the first free throw. 6 on the night for the senior. A year ago at the free throw line, so good, 76%. Started 21 out of 22 games a year ago. Bobcats went 7-15, 3-5 in the Iowa Alliance. 3-7 in the last 10 against Lincoln, trying to turn the tide here tonight in the opening game of the season as Kyle Smith's second free throw is up, and this one is good as well. So Kyle Smith with a nice start to the night with 7 points.
Kyle's a 20-plus point a game scorer. If he can sneak some freebies from the free throw line, he doesn't go there as much as I think he would like, and he's such a good free throw shooter. Get yourself those free opportunities.
Well, he even mentioned that in our Cat Connection, and up and under plays no good for Bryce Page. And in transition, Gersma, a 1-on-3, almost converted, but he was off the mark. And quickly, here goes Lincoln in transition. Kawaki's trailing, threes off the right side of the iron. Kyle Smith with the rebound. Kyle Smith, not only that, but he did a really good job of rebounding last year. He really stepped up his game as he averaged just over 7.5 boards per game.
Well, really the backcourt. We have one of the best rebounding backcourts. Nice back cut by Hayes up off the glass. No good. But Gersma's rebounded the ball really well as well.
Kawaki in transition, a nice bucket. He has 5 on the night, but back to Kyle Smith. He alluded to that in our Cat Connection, that he's got to go inside and get more of those free throws, and that will be a huge difference maker, especially when you get late in games.
Yeah, he's 6'3". He's 6'3", bordering on 6'4". He's long. He's bigger than the guards finding him. He can score at all 3 levels. Abuse those smaller guards in the post late.
And an offensive charge is going to be called on Drake Gersma. That will be his first foul of the night. That is the second team foul on the Bobcats, leading 13-7. A few new faces into the game for Lincoln as Caden Reeves, the starting center, is back into the contest for the Rails, and head coach Connor Chiano. Near side wing, Rico Mann. Did not play in either game last year against the Bobcats, but we'll see some minutes off the bench. Three, right wing is no good. Hayes with the rebound off the three missed by Bryce Page. Is it me or what? But Bobcats a year ago, they were pretty tight in the rebounding game between the Railsplitters in their two contests. But here tonight, as Jacob Hayes finds his first bucket of the evening, rebounding is just exceptional here tonight.
Yeah, and I think last year's stats were a little bit skewed because when it mattered, Lincoln dominated in the game-winning quarters. But tonight, the Bobcats have been so aggressive at the glass, and it really comes down to the guards crashing the glass, and the bigs for Lincoln are not as ferocious on the glass as they were last year.
5:16 to go in the second quarter. Lincoln basketball, baseline left side. As Kwaki will look to inbound it here. He comes near side to Page. Three, it's off the mark. Just skims the front of the iron, and Kyle Smith hauls in the rebound for the Bobcats as he hands off to his guard. And Drake Gersma is over the timeline, and the Lincoln logo at midcourts. Segovia dumps it into Hayes, fouled, and it rolls off the left side of the iron. But Hayes will head to the free throw line for two free throws. He was another one of those guys at the free throw line a year ago as he went 76%. Jacob just finished the season really well last year. I thought he shot the three much better down the line and also at the free throw stripe.
There was no more important X factor on this team for wins. When Jacob would score that 8 to 10 points or more, they'd win. If he was down 2-5 points where he'd kind of disappear, they didn't win. They didn't have that third scorer. And I anticipate him in his senior year being much more aggressive. And like Kyle, he's a great free throw shooter. Get yourself some freebies at the line.
Both are knocked down, so Kyle Smith and Jacob Hayes, 4 of 4 combined here in the second quarter, and it's now a 10-point lead for the Cats on the road on the opening night of the season. And a backcourt violation nearly, but they do save it. Get it back to Fry. Fry, free throw line jumper is short. Gets the offensive rebound. Out to Rico Mann. Now they come to Kawaki near side. Now near side corner filling the spot is Fry. Has it tipped away by Gersma. Oh, nifty move as he dribbles behind his back. Takes it in, kicks to wide open Kyle Smith. One dribble. Yeah, let's go. Opening night, Kyle Smith heating it up.
My goodness, the steal behind the back pass from Gersma setting up Kyle, but Kyle being patient enough to get himself a settled dribble and knocked it down.
20-7, Cats lead, and a tie-up jump ball. Possession arrow, it will keep it with Lincoln, but how about this in transition?
Just a great job seeing the defender come, know where to go in that 3-on-1 break, spread the court, grab it, shoot it. Kyle has been so efficient and good tonight, he's got 10 points.
DeMeyer catches the inbound. Halfway through the second quarter. A late kick. Kyle Smith jumps out there, and a drive and a contact. Count the bucket for Rico Mann, and he's headed to the line for the and one.
Yeah, just got him off the bounce. Kyle went late to go defend the three. Didn't go out with balance, and Mann went right around and made a nice play for the and one.
Kyle Smith with 10 for the Bobcats is Rico Mann with his first bucket of the night in the and one. Adam Kwaki, the leading scorer for Lincoln, with 5. And on the rebound, Jacob Hayes stepped on the baseline. And it will be right back with the Lincoln Railsplitters. 20-9 after that made bucket by Mann. The inbound man on the far side will be Kwaki. He'll get it to Parks at the top. Had a bloody nose earlier. Got a little bit of tissue, and he's back in there. And a legal screen. Going to be called on Caden Reeves right there, trying to set the screen for Parks.
Yeah, just that simple, knowing you need to set the screen, trying to get to the second step of it, and just moving. Cat's doing a really good job of setting that pace. We talked about the Bobcat dozen. They had 11. They missed the mark by a little in that first quarter, but 9 here in the second quarter. They're stacking effective offensive quarters, which is great to see.
Reeves picks up his first foul of the night. Hayes in the front courts, gets it over to Schoenfelder. Calling for it is the guard, and Drake Gersma. And putting his head down, fighting through the defense, and Kwake is going to pick up a foul. That will be his first of the night. That is the 4th team foul here in the second quarter, so one more, and the Bobcats will be in the bonus. As Kyle Smith will set up to inbound the ball from the far side, right by the student section.
Yeah, I had a little bit of that college pro. I was ready for Drake to shoot some free throws.
Segovia gets the handoff. Gets it to Gersma at the free throw line. Goes right. Pulls up at the block. It's no good, but Kyle Smith is there, and he gets the rebound, and the putback is good for 12 on the night.
I really love Drake playing at that free throw line. Back in the day, Prince Jala would play, as you see the bucket and the harm there, but Prince Jala would play at that free throw line in his quick first step. Drake's got a similar step, able to get to the rack quickly. Didn't make it, but Kyle was there with the putback. He's got 12.
Manaskai with the bucket. He has 4 tonight. He'll head to the free throw line. Yes, Manaskai coming off the bench, but again, he was a guy that we saw last year. I believe a couple years ago there was a different guy.
Yeah.
Not GUI, but GAI.
Yes, there was a different guy, second guy, if you will. But
well, he was first. This is second.
And there he knocks it down. He's got 5. The bench has been huge. They've got all of Lincoln's points. The starters for Lincoln have not scored.
Gersma walks it over the timeline. 22-12, Cat lead. Schoenfelder, high point in the basketball. Gets it to Kyle Smith. Wide open, Jacob Hayes. Rolls in and out right side, but Kyle Smith fighting for the basketball. Oh, Talon Halstead took a big hit as he dove for the basketball as Parks had it, as well as Manaskai. And it's going to be a foul on Talon Halstead, who kind of got a little bumped up right there. He looks to be okay, though.
Yeah, look head-to-head as everyone was diving to the floor. He seemed to bounce up pretty good, but it definitely caught him head-to-head there on the floor. You like the hustle, though, but yeah, bang. Whew. Might want to look at him a little bit, make sure everything's good to go with him.
Yeah, Talon definitely got the worst of that. Take a look at head coach Mike Apple. Brynjar Brynjonsson, his assistant coach, there on the bench. As head coach Mike Apple talking with the near side official. That is foul number 5, and so it's free throws for Manaskai. Off of that rebound. Not sure what we have a slowdown in play here, but it looks like we are okay to get going. Nobody's getting checked out.
No, everybody, they feel like good to go as Guy makes another free throw. We're a little cut off up here. We're up in we have an Eagle's Nest view up here, so the near sideline's a little bit hard to see.
So Guy converts on the first, second one to come, and it is good. Manaskai has nailed all 3 of his free throws here tonight. Kyle Smith catches the inbound pass. He'll control the point. 2.5 minutes to go, second quarter. Parks is all over him, and I believe a reach-in foul is going to be called. It'll be Bobcat basketball and free throws. It should be coming here. And, yes, the officials get together, and it will be free throws. 2 coming for Kyle Smith at the stripe as he already has 12 on the night.
We've seen Kyle have huge halves, huge quarters. He had 16 and a quarter against Lincoln last year, but he's scoring in a much more efficient and easier way here tonight. He's getting things off of the play of other people. He's not having to hunt shots. The game is coming to him. It's been a really spectacular moment for us up here to watch the Cats really look like they've taken a step from the end of last year.
23-14, and now We will remain at that point as Kyle Smith can't convert on the second free throw. Rico Mann will bring it into the front courts. DeMeyer dribbles to the right wing. Gets it over to Page. Page looking around. And still no starter has scored tonight for Lincoln, as we're just about 2 minutes away from halftime. Page to the free throw line, nothing doing. DeMeyer gets it back, forces a late three, and it goes off the glass and back in. And DeMeyer is the first starter to get a bucket here tonight. It's a big three from the right wing.
Yeah, it took a little bit. It rolled around up off the glass and in, but that's if you got that shooter's touch, you're going to get lucky here and there.
And with that, the Rails are back within 6 with 1:46 to go before halftime. And head coach Mike Apple wants a timeout. We'll take it with them on your home for the Cats, KFJB-TV.
Gavin Mishek, and you're watching KFJB-TV.
Bobcats out to a nice lead early on in this one, but the Rails starting to work their way back into it because Manas Guy has come off the bench. He's provided a little bit of a spark. He has 7. And Brian DeMeyer, the only starter with a bucket, just knocked down a 3. So head coach Mike Apple wanted a timeout to enforce just how key it is to close out this first half as Drake Gersma out of the timeout loses it out of bounds in a turnover.
And now you're seeing a little bit of the sloppiness, but not from the underclassmen, from some starters that have returned. Just the handle got a little bit loose. You want the Cats to finish strong here in the first half.
We approach 90 seconds to go before the midway break. We'll talk to Brian Murphy, girls basketball coach, after the girls picked up a nice win, 52-38 on the road tonight to go to 2-0 on the season. And an offensive foul. It'll be an illegal screen on Brian DeMeyer, and that will be his second foul of the night. And it was an offensive foul, so that will not mean free throws for the Bobcats here, but they do get the basketball back with 1:20 to go. Gersma over the timeline, looking to the right. He finds Jacob Hayes at the right high post, gets it to Segovia. Segovia looking back, now finds Hayes near side corner. Drops it off. Kyle Smith, a great cut down the right side of the paint. And Kyle Smith, 15.
He just looks, he's getting it from the line. He's getting it from three-point land, cutting off. He's scoring in every way possible. And that's really what you want to see. Can he take that next step from just being a shooter-scorer to an all-around player that can really elevate the Cats to a winning record? That's what you're seeing here tonight.
Kwaki bumped on the way in by Jacob Hayes, his second foul of the night. It's 2 free throws coming for Kwaki off the bench. As we take a look at that last scoring play for Kyle Smith. So Kwaki cannot convert on the first free throw. Second one to come. And that one off the front of the iron, and Gersma with the rebound. So 0 for 2 for Adam Kwaki off the bench at the free throw line right there. 45 seconds to go in the second quarter. Boy, if you can get this back to a double-digit lead before halftime, that would be huge.
Yeah, you just want to be able to execute, get the ball, go in. You go up offensively, you're in a rhythm. Defensively, you're locking them down. You feel good about where you're at.
Shot clock down to 8 seconds. Turnaround jumper, free throw line. He fell in love with that spot last season, and he loves it again. 17 for Kyle Smith.
2 threes, 2 layups, 2 mid-range jumpers, and has 3 from the line. That's how you get to 17 points.
A drive and a kick. Page with the 3 near side. It's off the back of the iron. Kyle Smith, he's nearing a double-double. Full court shot. Oh, off the left side of the iron. I was just about to say, what can't Kyle Smith do tonight on the road at Lincoln?
A 3/4 of a quarter shot, but barely.
Cats go to the break with a 10-point lead. Bobcats looking for the clean sweep here tonight after the girls top the Railsplitters. Halftime coverage coming next as Mike Apple and his crew heads to the locker room at the break on KFJB-TV.
From preschool to graduation day, Marshalltown Community School District prepares students for success in a global world. Embrace the lead with curriculum that prepares students for tomorrow's challenges, giving your child unmatched college and career advantages. Embrace the lead by developing talents beyond the classroom through extracurricular opportunities and by focusing on student well-being and whole child development. Create a global learning community right here in Marshalltown. Learn more at marshalltown.k12.ia.us.
McGregor's Furniture and Mattress is your local furniture store in Marshalltown. With their extensive inventory, you're sure to make a winning selection when you shop McGregor's for your bedroom, living room, and dining room furnishings. McGregor's has the right play for every room in your home. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress is proud to be your locally owned and operated furniture store since 1896 and very proud to support Bobcat Athletics again this season. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, downtown Marshalltown, open 7 days a week.
Some say life is like a road trip. Is it a coincidence Scooter's Coffee is a drive-thru? We don't think so. Whether you need a coffee while you enjoy the view, to just get you through the long stretch, or to refuel between stops, Scooter's Coffee is there, brewing up delicious coffee, espresso blenders, smoothies, iced drinks, and more, with the convenience of a drive-thru so you can stay on the road and enjoy the ride. So go ahead, scoot on around. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooters in Marshalltown.
At Sports Plus Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Center, we customize each patient's treatment plan to their individual needs. What does that mean? It means that not every back or knee problem is treated the same, and that your program will be unique and designed especially for your needs or problem. This improves how quickly you will return to work or sports. The Sports Plus staff is encouraging and takes pride in your successful recovery. This is just one more reason why champions choose Sports Plus Physical Therapy as their favorite place to rehabilitate and train.
The Halftime Report, powered by Scouting America. Adventure on.
At the break, Bobcats 27-17 have the lead on the road at the Lincoln Roundhouse as the big show put on here tonight by Kyle Smith, one of the great plays. Kyle Smith with 17 at halftime, and on a fast break, one dribble, one shot, and a big three for Kyle Smith with 17 at halftime. When we come back to Lincoln Roundhouse, we'll recap the girls' win tonight, 52-38, as they go to 2-0 on the season with head coach Brian Murphy and Dylan Does. We'll take a quick timeout. You're locked in to Bobcat Basketball on your home for the Cats, KFJB-TV.
I didn't really have much growing up, but I did have a mom, and she gave me a strong foundation. She signed me up for Scouts. I quickly fell in love with the outdoors. It showed me how to take responsibility, how to work with other people, and how to become a leader. That made me a better athlete on the field. Scouting made me the man I am today.
Wayward Social is the place for fun. With 20 lanes of bowling, leagues for all levels, great food and drink options, an awesome arcade, there is a ton of fun to be had at Wayward Social for date night, family fun, or the company party with plenty of space for everyone. Visit Wayward Social on Facebook for updates on specials and live music. It is all on South 6th Street in Marshalltown. Visit wayward-social.com to start planning your group outing at Wayward Social, the place for fun.
Bobcat Athletics on KFJB-TV is powered by Central State Bank, locations in Ames, State Center, and West Des Moines. Eye Care Associates of Marshalltown, Conrad, and Toledo. Hy-Vee of Marshalltown. It pays to perk with Hy-Vee perks. And Legends American Grill, Marshalltown Steakhouse.
Welcome in. I'm here with Coach Brian Murphy, head coach of the 2-0 Marshalltown Bobcats, 52-38. And really it all came down to the junior with the 17th birthday here tonight. Frankie Long, 16 points, 15 rebounds, and really dominated in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think by far this was easily Frankie's most dominant offensive game I think she's ever had in her career. I mean, one of the things you appreciate as a coach is when you see drills starting to pay off. I mean, she's been in the gym as much as anybody going back to 8th grade. And, I mean, those drills are what she's been doing for years. And you can see the game slowing down for her a little bit, whereas 2, sometimes 3 moves to get herself to the rim. And that kind of patience is really going to pay off this season.
Yeah, and we saw that step through one of those points in the fourth quarter. The other junior was very effective as well. Here you see Frankie, taking it, step through up off the glass. That was the fourth quarter in a nutshell, except for when number 3. Amara does everything fast, sometimes too fast. Tonight, I thought, especially late, she settled down and gave a little bit of that thunder and lightning combo.
Yeah, and the great thing about Amara is, I mean, she's allowing us to unleash her in a variety of ways where, I mean, we really knew that they had one kind of primary ball handler, and, I mean, you can see her eyes light up when she gets to go harass somebody and take the ball away from them. So she's doing a really good job of being very malleable for us where, you know, we're trying to put her in as many positions as we can to either succeed or set other people up, and I think as the season goes on, we're just going to continue to see some of that growth where, you know, you almost have to remind yourself that she missed most of that sophomore season. So we're trying to pack a lot of development into a short amount of time, but she's off to a great start this season.
And look at how South Tama started off hot and really kind of survived. Tonight, you seem to get punched in the mouth, but then start to build resiliency. What's the big jump you've seen so far over this young season?
Mm-hmm. I think the biggest thing we saw tonight was, and I kind of saw it at times in South Tama, is we kind of got down on ourselves in the first half. You know, we went 3 of 11 from the line, and we went 5 of 18 from 2. In the second half, we went 10 of 18 from the line, and we went 10 of 15 from 2. So, I mean, just that confidence and patience pays dividends where sometimes it just takes a little bit of extra focus, a little bit of effort, that extra mental effort, especially when your legs are getting tired. The gym is really hot tonight, and that certainly sucked out some energy. But it's something that we're going to continue to really push our girls to do is to recognize some of those opportunities early so we're not having to cram so much effort into the game late.
Thank you very much, Brian Murphy. They get a chance to go 3-0 Thursday night against Newton. We will be back after these messages.
You're an empty nester closing in on that retirement property. Chances are your plans didn't include mom moving in, but life happens and you do the right thing. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When retirement means caring for yourself and a loved one, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East Southridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
The Halftime Report, powered by Scouting America. Adventure on.
Welcome back to Lincoln at halftime. Bobcat leading scorer is Kyle Smith with 17. Drake Gersma with 1, 4 for Damian Segovia. Jacob Hayes with 4 and 1 for Lars Schoenfelder. Meanwhile, for the Railsplitters at the break, Brian DeMeyer with 3. That is the only starter with a bucket here tonight. All of their other points have come off the bench. Adam Kawaki with 5 at the break. Manass Guy with 7. 27-17, Bobcats lead. They get warmed up for the second half when we come back here on KFJB-TV.
We do more than just t-shirts and hoodies. Check with Adlet Engraving and Screen Print for awards, lasered items, embroidery, and of course, imprinted apparel. 307 Riverside, right here in Marshalltown. Easy parking, delivery is available.
Refinance your auto loan with Members First Community Credit Union. For a limited time, refinance your auto loan from another lender and receive 1% cash back up to $500. Scan the QR code to apply online. Call us or visit a Members First branch.
Have Van Wyck Wood Builders design and build the storage shed you need. So many different options to choose from. Van Wyck Wood Builders. Just 5 miles south of I-80 in Grinnell on Highway 146. Online at VanWyckWoodBuilders.com.
Bobcat Athletics on KFJB-TV is powered by Lennox Employees Credit Union, LennoxECU.com, Marshalltown Area Chamber, meetinmarshalltown.com, Marshalltown Community College, a step in the right direction, and the Marshalltown School District. Embrace the lead.
Welcome back in for the regional scoreboard update brought to you by Central State Bank. Algona destroys Mason City 64-20. And Valley, number 11 Valley, loses to Ankeny 65-46. These are all girls' scores. And Iowa City West, number 6, is trailing Clear Creek Amana in the fourth, 68-57.
I was going to say the defending champs in 4A in boys basketball lost tonight, but that was a girls' final, you said.
Yes. Yes, it was. So hopefully that will happen later.
All right, we are underway. Second half. Bobcat lead by 10 out of the break with the basketball. Backdoor flash in. Great cut by the senior in Jacob Hayes. He has 6 on the night. Man, Dylan, I tell you what, here tonight is Lionel Parks a little out of control. He's going to be fouled by Drake Gersma, as that will be number 2 on him tonight. But, man, the ball movement and the cutting and guys just doing a great job hustling to find open spots as we take a look at Jacob Hayes flashing in the paint.
And even though Jacob's a senior now, last year really was his first time getting a lot of run, got a little bit of sophomore year, but he was learning along the way. You can see a jump for him. He's not thinking, he's reacting, he's responding. It's a really fluid offensive effort by the Cats.
Lionel Parks finally knocks down the second one. He has his first point of the night, so he's only the second out of those 5 starters to register a point here tonight. Kyle Smith swings it to Gersma. He'll direct the offense over to Segovia, right wing. And up by DeMeyer. Over to Jacob Hayes. Now Smith off of a screen from Jacob Hayes. 3 is going to be a little bit too strong off the back of the iron. No good. Lincoln with the rebound. Quickly in transition. Parks drives baseline. It's good for 2, and now he's heating up here in the second half after being held scoreless in the first.
Yeah, and just no one was there. Hayes couldn't rotate quick enough. Good job of not also adding the foul on that by Hayes, but Parks coming out with intention.
Why not? Schoenfelder 3, a little bit strong off the back of the iron. Quick transition for Kawaki. Bounce pass along the baseline by DeMeyer. And too hard of a pass inside to Manaskai, who gets the go here in the second half. He came off the bench and had a nice first half with those 7 points. Great job to get down to the right block for Schoenfelder, and it's his first field goal of the season.
Yeah, just absolutely love the confidence, not only that the freshmen have, but the upperclassmen have in the freshmen. It really is a 5-person team out there working really well together tonight.
Segovia flashes in the far side corner, a baseline kick. Over to DeMeyer, and a foul on the floor. And the foul will come in on the Bobcats. I believe Damian Segovia is going to pick up. Oh, no, they're going to rule it on Lars Schoenfelder, and that will be his second foul of the night. Lincoln controls it with DeMeyer on the right wing. Spin move in the paint. Nearly an errant pass over to Page on the left wing. Drop it inside to Guy. Gets a little bit of room. Bumped Jacob Hayes. And he now has 9 on the night with a 2-point bucket. Good move. Man, I don't know why they didn't start Manaskai here tonight, but he's definitely earning more minutes as the night has gone along.
I think the head coach of Lincoln agrees with you. It's why he's starting the second half, but Jacob's got to man up a lot more. You cannot allow Guy to go right through your chest.
Segovia is going to be fouled by Brian DeMeyer, and DeMeyer will pick up his 3rd foul of the night right there. 31-22 lead for the Bobcats. Kyle Smith will inbound from the near side to Segovia. Gets a screen from Hayes. Spin out of it. Nice bounce pass down to Jacob Hayes, but Manaskai has other intentions as he blocks that shot. It'll stay with the Cats on the left side baseline.
It's a great shot block, but Jacob's got to just flush it. Maybe throw a pump fake in there. Guy's going to be quickly off his feet.
Hayes posting up, doesn't get it. Catch and shoot at the free throw line. Fouled is Kyle Smith. His shot was no good, but 2 free throws coming. He went 3 of 4 at the stripe in the first half. There wasn't a whole lot he could not do.
And that's what I said about Jacob pump faking, because you see Guy, he's now going to want to block everything. He got that big block, crowd got energetic, he got excited, but now you got to use his aggressiveness against you as Kyle knocks down the free throw.
4-5, 75% on the night. Is my math right? 8?
Now 67.
67. This is the second one. My math is still in preseason form.
Yes, it is. But good luck you got me here, so I can make sure you're right.
You're the analytical one of the bunch. Smith split him at the line, so it's 32-22. I got to doing 8 and 10. That's 80%. I was like, oh wait, that is totally wrong.
He had his shoes off up here, folks. He was using every phalange he had to count.
Inbound to Parks, up high. Scoop and score, trying to get past Drake Gersma, a foul's called.
Parks, really smart by the senior to be very aggressive off the bounce. Drake is probably the one you can tell has missed some practice time. He's been a little choppy, not as smooth as usual. He's made some really good plays. He has not played poorly, but you can tell there's a little bit more preseason mode with him.
So Parks at the line for 2 after missing the shot. He misses the first free throw. It's his second trip to the free throw line here in this third quarter. Talon Halstead checks back into the contest as he'll replace Drake Gersma. Second free throw to come for Lionel Parks. He's barking out something to his teammates. And the second free throw will fall off the left side. Is a nice rebound off that missed free throw by Jacob Hayes. Segovia brings it into the front court. Looking right, goes left. Finds his other freshman teammate in Schoenfelder. They get it back to Segovia. Late pass. Now uses a glass. Oh, it was a good shot. Talon Halstead with a great rebound. Put back off the right side. No good. Schoenfelder tried to get the rebound. Parks has it in transition up to DeMeyer. Drives baseline. Kicks out to Parks. Right wing, and they'll move it over to Page, left wing. Hands off to Kawaki. 3, in and out. Halstead with the rebound.
Halstead doing what we said he needs to do. He's high pointing the basketball, grabbing the ball off the rim, and now the Bobcats get it in the offensive side. Great job by the senior, Talon Halstead.
Schoenfelder, free throw line, passes to Segovia. Segovia down the right side, a little bump in there. Talon Halstead touches it for a second, back to Segovia. Oh, wide open. Jacob Hayes cut to the right block, and Parks just drifted off of him, and it's an easy bucket for the senior.
Back cuts when the defender isn't watching. The moment his eyes are off of you, cut back to the glass. Segovia, great find.
8 points now for Jacob Hayes, but Manass Guy has been all over this game. He has 4 points here in the second half. He has 11 on the night. Here goes the freshman Segovia down the far side. Finds a wide open Jacob Hayes. He'll slow things down. And now Kyle Smith off a screen from Talon Halstead. Smith backing down inside. Back to Segovia, and we have a foul on the floor. I believe a hold is going to be called on Brian DeMeyer, and if so, that's his 4th of the night. And he's going to check out of this basketball game. As a couple of new faces going to be in here. Henry Fry will check back in for Lincoln, as well as Rico Mann.
And DeMeyer has played a lot of aggressive on-ball defense. He's brought that energy, did make that 1-3, but that's gonna create a positive impact for the Cats, especially on-ball defender there.
Kyle Smith will inbound for the Bobcats as Segovia will look to receive, running the points. As the junior point guard, Drake Gersma, is on the bench currently. Segovia. Over to Hayes. Parks knocks it out of his hands, gathers it back in. Segovia now, they post up Schoenfelder. Now Kyle Smith off a screen. Free throw line jumper comes up way short. Here's Parks in transition. Feeds out to Kawaki. 3 is off the left side of the iron, but Parks with a man rebound. He's skied for that one. The putback is no good. Talon Halstead has the rebound. 3 minutes to go, third quarter.
Yeah, and the Cats have needed this for a couple years. A 6'5 guy, just go be 6'5. Halstead with another rebound.
10-point lead for the Cats. 3 minutes in the third quarter.
The right insurance agent can make all the difference. Assured Partners agents represent multiple insurance companies. They can pick and choose from a larger variety of outstanding insurance options. Assured Partners also handles life and health insurance and Medicare supplement coverage. With access to local, regional, and national insurance companies, Assured Partners will create policies tailored to the coverage you need. For more information, go online to assuredpartners.com/Marshalltown. Power through partnership with Assured Partners in Marshalltown, Toledo, and West Des Moines.
I'm Jacob Hayes. You're watching Bobcat Basketball on KFJB-TV.
Well, Jacob Hayes, as we welcome you back to John Carl Court with 8 points. 18 tonight for Kyle Smith, the upperclassman living up to it. But, man, the freshman definitely, and everyone else is loving Keith Stewart down there on the floor as well.
You see Jamison Niehaus will be out for a little bit, coming back from an injury, but also Tyler Dorothy. They may not be finding the court, but they're finding Keith Stewart. They will every single time.
Jacob Hayes is too busy playing the game or else he would.
That's right. Those guys, you never have to worry if Jacob Hayes, Kyle Smith, and the rest of them know where the camera is. They will find it.
And after a win especially, they will find the cam. Schoenfelder, the freshman, finds Kyle Smith off a screen. Nothing there. Good defense on him. Schoenfelder tried to set a screen, but Kawaki fought through it. Halstead, near side, looking around. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Hayes. Oh, Parks. Parks, man, he might have been a little bit of a flop right there as he hit the deck, but he draws a foul on Jacob Hayes, and that'll be number 3 on him tonight.
If you can rope-a-dope him into calling a foul, good on Parks, but that was nothing. The moment Jacob backed up, he just went to the ground.
Rico Mann will give it a shot. Talon Halstead rising up with the one-hand snag. 10-point lead for the Cats as Segovia brings it over the timeline. Over to Hayes. Schoenfelder over to Segovia. Segovia tries to get past his man. A hook pass. Now they drop it into Schoenfelder. Segovia, 3. Back of the iron, no good. Parks skies for the rebound. And here goes Lincoln in transition. No numbers. They drive in. That's a travel. All day, Kawaki turns it back over to the Cats.
Great job by the Bobcats to get back. One thing you're noticing here is you just see that's atrocious. That's just a really poor officiated call down there. But
tell me how you really feel.
I wasn't a fan. But you look here, the Cats have kind of died down a little bit offensively with Drake Gersma going off the court. Only have 7 in the quarter. Need a bucket here.
Al Smith at the top. Going down the right side of the paint. On Segovia. And he was eaten up. That's going to be on Henry Fry. He'll pick up his first foul of the night. Fry started tonight, but has not seen the floor a ton.
No, that starting 5 unit never found its footing. Once they went to the bench and got something going with Quanky and with Guy, they've kind of found that Fry has found himself on the bench most of the night.
An ass Guy with good defense on Hayes as he misses the shot on the left side of the hoop. In transition 3. That one is knocked down by Adam Kawaki, and the bench is keeping Lincoln in the game. 8 for Kawaki here tonight. 34-27 Cats. Al Smith gets it to Jacob Hayes, and a cutting Segovia and a whistle and a illegal screen going to be set there on the Cats. And it will be foul number 2 on the night by Kyle Smith.
And you look, Drake Gersma sitting with 3 fouls, but you can see it offensively since he's come out. Halstead's been really nice in substitution on the glass, but you can tell offensively Kyle's had to work more for more contested shots. Nothing's flowing quite like it does when Drake's on the court.
Past couple of years, we've only seen a couple guys come off the bench for the Bobcats. Some nights they may only play with one guy coming off the bench, but you feel like when you get Niehaus back, it's going to be a little bit of a deeper team than we've seen in the past.
And you know the sophomore Gavin Mishak has talked about another big 3. This is a 4-point ball game. The Cats may have an 8-man rotation, but right now they need to take care of this feisty Railsplitter team.
That's Fry's first bucket of the night, and it's a big one, a 3 from the near side. Schoenfelder at the top, bumping around. Tries to drive through, loses the basketball. Halstead has it left block, feeds out to Kyle Smith, buys some room. 3 on the way. Yeah, that's a big response by the senior. 21 on the night. His third 3. Lincoln saves it from out of bounds. A floater working in the paint. Halstead, nobody's going to beat him out for the rebound. 6 seconds to go, third quarter. Kyle Smith, near side, Hayes, wide open. Oh, can't get it to go off the right side of the iron, but the Bobcats get a big three from Kyle Smith to close out the third. It's a 7-point game as we head to the fourth from John Carl Court in the Des Moines Metro at Lincoln High School.
Brown's Shoe Fit has a great selection of athletic footwear, including Hoka, Brooks, On Cloud, Birkenstock, and Taos. Brown's Shoe Fit can find the right shoe for every occasion for both men and women, including dress shoes, casual shoes, work boots, and more. They carry multiple sizes and widths to ensure the best fit for you. Their expert-friendly staff will take the time to give you the service you deserve. Brown's Shoe Fit, downtown Marshalltown, with you every step of the way.
Super Tuesday season tip-off tonight, 37-30. Bobcats with that 7-point lead heading to the fourth quarter. Lincoln gained some ground, but Kyle Smith with a big three to close out that quarter might get that offense heated back up as he has 21 tonight.
And that was all number 40. Got it up off the glass, didn't force it back up. Was patient, looked out, saw Smith, kicked it out to him. Kyle has shown that patience a couple times, getting that separation dribble, that little sidestep, and knocked down an open three. Great job by the two seniors.
Talon Halstead only played in 4 games last year, but you've liked some of the minutes he's played here tonight.
Yeah, talking to Kyle Smith and Jacob Hayes on Bobcat Live in the preseason interview, they said Talon Halstead's going to matter for us, and he has tonight.
Bobcats come up with a turnover from Schoenfelder. Segovia, right high post, catches it. High point in the basketball, looking around, and he steps through on the defense with a great floater. Misses the shot. It was tipped out of there. Halstead almost had it. Lincoln has it. Parks up and under, no good. Halstead has it knocked away on the rebound. Three wide open, and it's off the iron. No good, but an offensive rebound. Halstead missed it, and now he has a man step through on him. Rico Mann with a huge 2-point bucket. He has 4 off the bench as we have 7 minutes to go. It's 37-32, a 5-point game.
He came right over the back of Kyle Smith for the rebound. Ended up with a wide-open layup.
Kyle Smith, a man bucket inside. A huge score right there to answer back. 23 points now for the senior. 39-32. A three on the right wing. Boom, it goes for Kowalski. And that guy is tough off the bench. His third three of the night. He's trying to go a mano with Kyle Smith.
We've seen threes like this in the roundhouse before. When Lincoln gets hooting and hollering in the stands, those threes seem to just find their way to the bottom of the net.
Another illegal screen on the Bobcats, and the foul's going to come in. I believe that's on Talon Halstead. Halstead will stay in the game. And they do rule it on Talon Halstead, so it'll be an illegal screen. That is Halstead's second foul of the night.
And now they're going to let the substitution happen. They were just making sure he had said who the foul was on to the scorer's table before they made that substitution.
Jacob Hayes checks back in. Parks in the paint. Back out high. Kowalski fake, drives. The leaner. It goes. Kowalski, a huge second half. He has 8, and it's down to a 2-point game and a timeout on the floor by the Bobcats. 39-37, Rails fighting back into it with 6 minutes to go on KFJB-TV.
You planned and saved for your child to go to college, but medical school after graduation was a surprise. A happy, expensive surprise. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When opportunities surprise you, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East Southridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
Hey Bobcat Nation, this is Kyle Smith and you're watching Bobcat Basketball on KFJB-TV.
Adam Kowalski helping the Railsplitters on a 7-2 run to begin the fourth quarter. What's got to change right now?
Well, I really think as Lincoln extends the pressure, back cuts off the perimeter have come up layups, and cross-lane picks have also freed up some layup opportunities. Cats just need to continue to attack offensively.
Kyle Smith will bring the basketball into the front court. Gives it to Segovia. Gets a screen from Hayes. Not able to use it. Loses the basketball, but Gersma's there to pick it up. Gersma drives. A late feed. Parks is there to pick it off in the passing lane. And he'll bring it up court. Got a little loose with it. And he scores. And we're tied at 39. Almost a travel right there, but Parks is able to tie it up. He has 5.
You got to pick him up at the free throw line. They're picking him up at the end line on the volleyball court. He's going to make a bucket every single time if you allow him to get that deep.
Backdoor cut like you called for. Jacob Hayes can't make the bucket, but he's earned 2 free throws. He'll head to the line. Foul comes in. It's number 4 on Lionel Parks. And that's the only saving grace right now, is maybe Parks will be a little more conservative with those 4.
Yeah, and that's you got to attack him. You really do hunt him out, because right now, as Jacob Hayes misses the free throw, he's the one that brought the juice from the get-go here in the second half, and he's going to sub out for Brian DeMeyer.
So a 9-2 run for Lincoln in the fourth quarter has gotten him back into this game. We're tied at 39. Hayes' second free throw. This one is going to be good this time, and the Bobcats take the lead back 40-39 with 5.5 minutes to go. And Lincoln, a 3 and a step back. It's no good. And the Bobcats get beat out for the rebound by Rico Mann. Mann at the top of the key. Feed, right wing. They force that with Fry. He made one earlier. Ball bounces around. A 3, far side corner. It's off the back of the iron this time. Gersma snags it. But, man, they are quick in transition, and Kowaki almost gave Lincoln their first lead.
Kyle Smith averaged over 7.5 rebounds last year, but most of it was coming in. As another back cut, doggone it, missed it.
Schoenfelder loses it, gathers it back in. Out to Gersma at the top of the key. That was a great cut by Hayes a moment ago, but just could not get the bucket to go. Shot clock resetting, so the Bobcats reset the offense. Segovia down the right side. Leaner is no good. And Manaskai comes up with a rebound. Rails looking to take their first lead of the game. A 3, right wing, no good. It hits just glass, and Kyle Smith hauls in the miss.
And we talked about that cross-lane screen. Jacob Hayes just missed the layup there, but they've gone back to that cut and that screen we talked about. It's really important that the Bobcats not only box out, but attack the basketball on the glass.
Cats hang it on to a 1-point lead on the road on the season tip-off on KFJB-TV.
Fall is officially delicious at your Marshalltown Dairy Queens. Try the all-new Maple Cookie Shake, sweet, creamy, or dive into the ultimate duo, the Oreo Reese's Blizzard Treat. 2 icons, 1 cup, pure magic. Craving pumpkin spice everything? The Pumpkin Pie Blizzard Treat is back, loaded with real pumpkin pie pieces and topped with whipped cream and nutmeg. Or keep the summer vibes going with the Choco Dip Strawberry Blizzard Treat. A vacation in every bite. Hurry in. These fall flavors won't last forever. Happy tastes good at your Marshalltown Dairy Queens.
I'm Jamison Niehaus. This is your home for the Cats, KFJB-TV.
4:11 to go, fourth quarter. We take a look at some of the Bobcats in the student section on the road here tonight to open the season on a Super Tuesday. Conference of Champions matchup here tonight. Lincoln, a reach-in foul. That will be called on Adam Kowaki, and that will be his second foul of the night. And that is the second team foul on the Rails here in the fourth quarter. Bobcats will hang on to the basketball.
And they've allowed 2 hands on Smith. Whenever he's running through screens, there'll always be 2 hands. You can see it right there on his jersey. Nice to get the call there.
Gersma at the top, directing the offense. Gets a screen from Hayes. A little pick and roll, but Lincoln bottled it up. Feed it back to Hayes inside. Good move, but just couldn't finish at the rack. Manaskai hauls in the rebound. And the Rails still looking to take their first lead of the game.
We have missed 8 shots at the rim here tonight.
Kawaki late feed. It's picked up by Kyle Smith, and off of his shoe, a turnover back to Lincoln, as coming away with it, Rico Mann. Guy at the top. Feeds to Fry. 3 with a hand in his face. Rattles in and out. Schoenfelder letting the ball come to him for the rebound. Lucky to get that one, as Lincoln was about ready to reach in there. And another timeout I thought was going to come, but no. Gersma just looking for the call from his head coach and Mike Apple. Bounce pass a little bit off the mark, going for Kyle Smith. And you mentioned it to me during the break. The offense just has lost a step since the first half.
It's become very stuck in the mud. And really, Gersma, he gets a turnover, but I thought the pass was right. Kyle could have just stepped in for a layup there. He had him on his hip, and Drake passed him open, but Smith did not cut.
Parks will bring it up court. Bobcats hanging on to a slim lead on the road. Drives to the left block at 3. And it's off the front of the iron, and a foul from behind. Manass Guy, a push from behind, his second foul of the night. And it does seem a little bit like Kawaki forcing some threes right here. They thought they were feeling it, but almost kind of pushing the issue a little bit too much from long range.
Yeah, they hit a couple in this comeback, but now they'll shoot it in the first 3 to 5 seconds with the offensive possession. You're going to want a little bit more intentional offensive set.
Cats need a bucket. Gersma drives. It's off the mark, and I believe it's going to be no. They say it's off of Schoenfelder. I thought Manass Guy touched it last, but it will be Rail basketball. So the red and blue will hub back defensively. Man, they really needed a bucket right there.
Yeah, Cats have 13 points here in the second half, and they have really struggled. Going to be a timeout, Railsplitters.
And we'll take it with Connor Chiano, the head coach in his second year for the Railsplitters. It's Cats 40, Rails 39 on KFJB-TV.
Tired of just looking for a job? Find a career you'll love. Marshalltown Community College is enrolling now for spring classes. Your future starts here. We offer hands-on career training leading directly to in-demand jobs, from technical skills to healthcare. Our expert faculty and advisors help you find your path. We have flexible schedules, affordable tuition, and programs you can complete entirely online. Stop waiting. Invest in your future today. Spring classes start January 20th. Enroll now. Visit MarshalltownCommunityCollege.com.
Head coach Mike Apple in his 8th year leading the Bobcat basketball program. They went 7-15 a year ago, 9-13, 12-10, 11-12, 7-13 in the last 5 years. But the way tonight started out, boy, it's got to leave you feeling really good as far as the growth goes from the freshmen. Segovia as well as Schoenfelder have really played well. Talon Halstead has been a nice piece. Plus you have Jamison Niehaus maybe in a couple weeks coming back to join this program.
Yeah, really, it hurt when Drake had those 3 fouls. And they've had a couple gimmies. They've had quite a few gimmies that just haven't gone.
Lincoln out of the timeout with the basketball. Kawaki down the left side, picks up his dribble and feeds it back out to the top to Rico Mann. Drives to the right wing. Segovia slacking off defensively, leaves him wide open. Lincoln can't take their first lead of the game as Gersma comes up with a rebound. We're down to 1:50 to go on the road on the opening night on the season tip-off for boys basketball. Bobcats really needing a bucket here in a drought. And a foul is going to be called. A hold, and is that on Parks? If so, it's his 5th. It's Kawaki. All right. So it'll be on Kawaki. That is his 3rd of the night. 4th team foul, so one more on Lincoln, and the Bobcats will be shooting free throws the rest of the way.
Yeah, Cats need to be aggressive with this, and you can call that around the pick as Parks is guarding Smith right now.
90 seconds to go. Backdoor cut and an illegal screen. Kyle Smith cannot believe it. It is on him. And that is foul number 3 on Kyle Smith. Second team foul here in the 4th quarter.
The ref was talking to Kyle, says he got you because you were shoving off with your forearms. Instead of just setting the pick, he had his arms up by his chest and pushed off on him. That's what they called him on.
Kawaki Feeds over near side. Gets it back. Top of the key. Guarded by Kyle Smith. Nobody in major foul trouble for the Bobcats. Parks, he's playing with 4, though. Kawaki almost took an extra step, and it is going to be called a travel. It looked like that pivot foot kind of slid a little bit, and with 1:04 to go in the basketball game, Bobcats with a 1-point lead. This is do or die on this possession right here, you think?
Yeah, this has become an offensive wasteland. Lincoln not being able to score either, but it feels like who makes the next offensive play wins this ball game, and Coach Mike Apple wants to take some time to think about it.
And we'll take a timeout with them. You're watching Bobcat Basketball on KFJB-TV. Have Van Wyck Wood Builders design and build the storage shed you need. So many different options to choose from. Van Wyck Wood Builders, just 5 miles south of I-80 in Grinnell on Highway 146. Online at vanwyckwoodbuilders.com.
Refinance your auto loan with Members First Community Credit Union. For a limited time, refinance your auto loan from another lender and receive 1% cash back up to $500. Scan the QR code to apply online. Call us or visit a Members First branch.
We do more than just t-shirts and hoodies. Check with Adlet Engraving and Screen Print for awards, lasered items, embroidery, and of course, imprinted apparel. 307 Riverside, right here in Marshalltown. Easy parking, delivery is available.
40-39, Bobcats taking a timeout there behind head coach Mike Apple, a full timeout. And 40-39, our current score, Kyle Smith with 23 points for the Bobcats. Jacob Hayes with 9 here tonight. But the key, the Bobcats have only scored 2 points here in this fourth quarter of action. And the Rails 9-2. Bobcats have scored 3 here in this quarter. So 9-3, having the lead here in this fourth quarter. Bobcats with the basketball as Drake Gersma gets at the right high post to Jacob Hayes, looking for a backdoor cut by Schoenfelder. Not there. Off a screen, Kyle Smith. He's all covered up. Back to Gersma. They'll reset with 15 on the shot clock. Down to 40 seconds to go on a Super Tuesday season tip-off on the road at Lincoln tonight. Gersma, tough drive inside. Yeah! Finally, they get that basket to count, and it's 42-39, a 3-point lead for the Cats. Huge shot by Gersma.
Drake called Kyle, said, get out of here. I'm going one-on-one, straight to the glass for 2.
Oh, my word. Brian DeMeyer ties the game up. He had a 3 in the first half, and we're locked up at 42. Bobcat basketball when we come back.
In Iowa, we are fortunate to have a lot of opportunities to get involved in at our schools.
Athletics and activities have so many positive effects, from learning how to build relationships and healthy lifestyles,
and gain self-esteem and confidence.
Make participation a priority. You and your school will benefit.
Brian DeMeyer with a huge 3-point bucket here in the fourth quarter. It ties it up at 42 with 19.6 seconds to go. Here we take a look at the Tyler Pashong State Farm replay. Bobcats will have the basketball coming out of the timeout here.
Yeah, there's 4 fouls on Lincoln, so if they do foul, it will be free throws. I'm going right back to what we just saw. Clear out one side, allow Drake to operate, probably go with about 8 seconds, and if he gets double-teamed, you know, that's where you have Kyle Smith. You have Jacob Hayes spotting up.
Do you foul here?
Not at all. You've got to play this one out.
Segovia, the freshman, in a big spot, will bring it over the timeline. Almost has his pocket pick. Gets through the pressure. Now the basketball is taken away. Rico Mann stole it away from the freshman, and a timeout is called by Lincoln with 7 seconds remaining.
And that was that was just over dribbling. He didn't get that first action he wanted. Instead of pulling out, he continued to drive into the lane, and then he caught himself in no man's land. He went exactly where they wanted him to go. Coach Apple not excited with the decision. You know, you put the ball in the freshman's hands. You can say, like, is that where we need to go? I probably would have went Drake Gersma right away, but totally easy being 40 feet up in the air, questioning that when the result isn't what you want.
Rails have outscored the Bobcats 12-5 here in the fourth quarter. We talked about the offensive lull that they've gone into, but what's kind of flipped around for Lincoln, you think?
I think it's hitting the threes. I think you get some big threes. I think really it all started with Parks coming out aggressive. He came out aggressive right away, scoring 5 points in that third quarter. Once his energy started going, Guy did some things. Then you hit some threes. This crowd gets rolling. It all kind of compounds.
And a 10-point lead at halftime melted away here in the second half. And Lincoln has a chance to win this one late. We're tied at 42. Bobcats will press. Parks gets the inbound. 5 seconds, and he's touched up with 5 seconds. That'll be the third foul on the Bobcats. Good play right there to slow this game down and maybe, hopefully, only give them 1 or 2 seconds.
Yeah, and I anticipate them doing this again. They have one more foul to give, and you want to get it. You want to make sure you don't allow them get into a shooting motion or anything, but you do want to take this foul, make them inbound it again.
Inbound way in the backcourt. And right at midcourt, Kyle Smith will pick up his 4th foul of the night as he fouls Adam Kawaki. And we're down to 2.8 seconds to go. Ball at midcourt. They'll inbound here. They're basically going to have a pass in and a catch and shoot.
I would watch for Guy ducking to the rim. He's standing out by the perimeter. Watch a back cut, him go rim.
They'll pass in. It's a bad pass in. Fry has it, DeMeyer has it. We're going to overtime. The shot comes up well short. 42-42. Regulation not enough. We'll head to overtime when we come back. You're locked into Bobcat Basketball right here on KFJB-TV.
When you go home, you'll feel good about what you did, and you know you're doing it for the kids. If they don't have us, they don't have these games.
Well, the Lincoln Railsplitters eliminated a 10-point lead at halftime by the Bobcats and tied up as we go to overtime, 42-42. And I just heard head coach Mike Apple saying they're just playing harder than you right now.
Yeah, and that's been the case at that beginning of the second half. Lionel Parks, and yes, I won't call you Lincoln again, Lionel Parks has been the difference maker, and then Guy. And I was really surprised neither of them touched the ball in that final possession.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest inbound pass to Brian DeMeyer, but he got off the three, but it was well short to try to win this game in regulation. Kawaki will control the basketball at the top of the key. Pass over to Parks on the left wing, guarded by Gersma. Picks up his dribble, drops it inside to Manaskai. Going against Hayes. Turnaround jumper is no good, and a foul on the floor. It's going to be on Jacob Hayes, and that will be his third of the night. That will be his fourth of the night. And now Manaskai, after the play, will drop down, and maybe he is cramping up.
Yeah, Coach Murphy talked about it in his post game. for the girls that is hot here. It's not only hot up in the press box, it's hot everywhere. It is a very warm evening in the south side of Des Moines, and that would be a big miss. But looking at foul trouble, Hayes just picked up his 4th. Gersma has 4. Smith has 4. That's one of the things that happens when you're giving away fouls at the end of the game. You want to be intentional of who fouls. Now, we didn't really have that opportunity. Smith and both Gersma had to foul, but that puts us in a very precarious situation. They've got to avoid that 5th foul.
So the foul is the 5th team foul, and it will send Bryce Page to the line. He has not scored tonight. And the first free throw, it is good. And that is Lincoln's first lead of the night.
Yeah, that's a big one for them, as they just have fought all night long, didn't pack it up and go home, and got 1 out of 2.
40% free throw shooter a year ago. Splits him at the line like Dylan alluded to. Bobcats trailing by 1. As we are in overtime to begin the season. On the road here tonight for the Bobcats. Off a screen, Kyle Smith, catch and shoot. 3! It goes! 4th one of the night for Kyle Smith. 26 points for the senior.
What a shot. Came off the curl, and then a 3 right back by DeMeyer.
DeMeyer has not done a whole lot here tonight, but he's made 3 huge threes for 9 points. And the Rails back up by 1. Schoenfelder. Inside to Gersma, just a touch strong on the layup. It was a good drive, but couldn't get it to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Lincoln's done is DeMeyer is just set up where he wants to shoot it from and allow the kick out. See if they do it again here.
Parks, 1-on-3, scores it past the Bobcats, and it's a 3-point lead. 2.5 minutes to go in overtime. Gersma over the timeline, looking to the right as he finds Jacob Hayes. Schoenfelder now for a second. Now cuts back door. Beautiful cut by Jacob Hayes to settle in there offensively. He's done a superb job of that tonight.
Yeah, it's been there all night long. Over-aggressiveness on the perimeter, back cut, open layup. This is where the Cats have to lock in defensively without fouling.
Parks 1-on-1 with Gersma. Backs him down to the block. Goes inside, a little bit of a push and a late feed to Kawaki. 3 is in and out. Gersma with a nice rebound to beat out Parks. Cats can take the lead back. Gersma takes it coast to coast. Leaner can't go, but he's fouled. And that is 2 free throws coming at the line for Drake Gersma. He has not scored a field goal here tonight. He has just 1 point, or actually, he did have a field goal there in this third quarter, so he has 3 tonight, but second trip to the free throw line. But boy, what a bound and determined play right there for the junior guard.
Yeah, once he gets his shoulders side by side with you, he's going to go around you every single time, and Cooley makes the first free throw to tie this ball game up.
Second free throw coming for Drake Gersma. 53% at the stripe a year ago, and he knocks this one down. He is 3 of 4 at the stripe. The Bobcats have the lead back. 49-48. 1:45 to go in overtime. Parks swings it right wing. Page thought about the 3, did not take it. Back to Parks at the top. Steps into a double team, and Kyle Smith just rips it away. Outlet to Gersma. Pushes the issue, now slows it down with 90 seconds to go. Smart play right there.
Yeah, brilliant job by the junior. Didn't want to force a 1-on-2, 1-on-3. Pulled it back out, run some clock, get a better shot.
Schoenfelder off the screen, gets it back to Gersma. Backdoor cut, wide open again. Hayes knocks down the bucket again. And Hayes with a big night for the senior. He has 13.
Every single time that back cut's there, they're playing aggressive, and then their eyes follow the basketball. You have to stay consistent in that ball-you-man defense. Lincoln has fallen apart there multiple times tonight.
All out of bounds on the near side. Lincoln will keep possession here with Rico Mann. Hands off to Page, guarded by Hayes. Back to the near side corner. They're looking inside to Parks, but he's covered up by Gersma. Handoff way up high to Kawaki. Kawaki drives, kicks, a wide open 3, far side corner, in and out, but an offensive rebound by Kawaki. They'll reset the shot clock. A hop, step, and a jump inside, and the two-point bucket for Rico Mann, and a timeout on the floor. Rico Mann with 6, gets him back within 1 with 36 seconds to go.
Yeah, great drive. Bobcats, I was a little nervous. They were helping off the drive. There was a couple wide open 3 opportunities. Here you see, as quickly you see the nice back pick by Smith. No one called it out by Lincoln, and Hayes with the layup. Now, the difference of shot clock and game clock is 1.5 seconds. So I anticipate that Lincoln will go for a steal early, but then they're going to foul. So the Cats are going to have to salt this one away at the free throw line. First, be very strong with the basketball. No lazy passes and no risky passes. Put it in the hand of Drake Gersman. He's been really solid with the ball tonight. Put it in his hands, allow him to dictate pace, and to wrap it up at the line.
Just that easy, huh?
It really is, and that's what makes it beautiful about being an analyst and not a coach or a player. Is like everything's simple, it's just difficult to execute.
Well, Lincoln, you got to give them credit. Man, they have played a much more, I would say, a little bit more physical, but more intensity here in the second half, and give them hats off to get this thing into overtime.
Yeah, that all started that third quarter. We've mentioned it a lot, but you look at even Mann coming off with the bounce. He's had 3 big buckets. DeMeyer's hit some big threes. They've been game. They've been game all night long.
Both teams over 5 fouls, so either team is shooting at the line, and on the inbounds play, Bobcats couldn't see anything open up. And a timeout on the floor. We'll take it with them. 51-50. Bobcats lead in overtime with just 36 seconds to go here at John Carl Court on KFJB-TV.
In Iowa, we are fortunate to have a lot of opportunities to get involved in at our schools.
Athletics and activities have so many positive effects. From learning how to build relationships and healthy lifestyles,
and gain self-esteem and confidence.
Make participation a priority. You and your school will benefit.
Welcome back to Lincoln. I'm Brandon Lewis, Dylan Dose alongside me. Great to have you along for Super Tuesday season tip-off. Bobcats with a 1-point lead, 51-50. They didn't see anything they liked on that inbound play, so called a quick timeout.
Yeah, and Kyle Smith was talking to Damian Segovia. It seems like the freshman was a little confused about the play there. Kyle was saying, no, you've got to flip-flop here. You got to cut to the other side. Brynjarson brought Damian up to speed during the timeout. Anticipate everyone being on the same page here.
Jacob Hayes will be the inbound man. And he finds Gersma. A little bit of pressure in his face. And he'll get it over the timeline just in time. Parks is going to come out, show some pressure, steps through, and a timeout. Last timeout of the game taken by the Bobcat head coach and Mike Apple. And with that, let's get a scoreboard update here tonight, which is all brought to you by Central State Bank. And around Central Iowa, I know a big night for, obviously we talked about girls basketball earlier tonight, but boys basketball, a big opening night around the state as well. And well, we're having a little bit of trouble getting some scores on the boys' side of things here tonight. But we do have a few girls' finals.
For the girls, again, Valley loses to Ankeny 65-46. Iowa City West, number 6, loses to number 4, Clear Creek Amana in the Johnson County rivalry. Regina Catholic 62, Anamosa 33. And then Mason City loses to Algona 62-20. It feels like that Mason City team's going to look a lot different when we go there than they have in the past.
So Bobcats out of their last timeout. Both teams, no timeouts remaining in this one. We have just 25 seconds to go in overtime. Bobcats looking to sneak out of Lincoln with an opening season victory on the road. Jacob Hayes will be the inbound man on the far sideline, right in front of the Lincoln crowd. And they'll find Segovia on the inbound play. And Parks is not on him initially. Bobcats with a 1-point lead. Kyle Smith was wide open for the three, but opts to dwindle down the time. We're down to 10 seconds in regulation. Kyle Smith and a reach and foul with 8 seconds to go on the clock. Kyle Smith, with the Bobcats leading by 1, will head to the line to make it a 3-point play, but you were calling for a timeout there. Or, excuse me, a foul by Lincoln. You were surprised.
Once they inbound it and got away from that initial pressure, foul. You've given yourself very little time.
And the first is good, and the Bobcat lead is now 2. 52-50, 27 points for Kyle Smith on the opening night tonight. Living up to his scoring potential here on the road.
And this is about the number he had against them last time out, but he was much more inefficient with all the shots. He has scored in a myriad of ways and all efficiently.
28 now. It's a 3-point lead. Handoff up high to DeMeyer, who tied it up to get this thing into overtime. The shot is off the left side of the hoop. It's off, and that will give the Bobcats the win on the road. It took overtime, but the Bobcats come through clutch, 53-50, and move to 1-0 to begin the year.
And that's exactly why you foul with 20 seconds, not 8. Because right there you saw DeMeyer coming off. He's like, what happened? Where no one was where they needed to be. You didn't give yourself time. Bobcats executed, blew a lead, came back. Kyle Smith knocks down big free throws. 1-0, baby.
28 points for that man right there, Kyle Smith. Big night for him. Made 4 big threes for the Cats. And they go to 1-0 on the season as Lincoln gave really great effort and dropped to 0-1.
Yeah, I think you have some things to build on. Again, I feel like the Cats were a step ahead, knowing who their point guard was, knowing who their scorer was, while Lincoln's trying to figure that out. They lost all of that. First half, there was only 1 3 made by their starting lineup. Everything else was from the bench. Then Lionel Parks played the way he needed to play there in the second half. I anticipate them getting some wins down the road.
I told you Kyle Smith would find the camera after a win.
Oh, yeah, and you have to find it. When you have that many points, when you're dealing and you ice a game on the road, you find Keith Stewart.
53-50. Cats open up the season with a win on the road in overtime. We head to the locker room report presented by Wells Fargo Advisors in Marshalltown when we come back. This is Bobcat Basketball. You're watching KFJB-TV.
Looking for top-notch eye care close to home? Eye Care Associates, with offices in Marshalltown, Conrad, and Toledo, has proudly served Central Iowa since 1990. Their expert team provides eye exams for all ages, designer frames, contact lens fittings, and treatment for glaucoma, cataracts, and other eye conditions. With advanced technology, a welcoming staff, and convenient online booking, your next visit is easier than ever. Visit visionsource-marshalltowneyecare.com today. Eye Care Associates, your vision is their priority.
Good call tonight, man. You too? You think what I'm thinking? Let's go to Legends for a Bobcat Burger.
Hi, guys. What are we hungry for today?
I think we're going to do 2 Bobcat Burgers. Whether it's pre-game or post-game.
Or during the game, it's Legends American Grill in Marshalltown.
Looking for a financial partner that puts you first? At Lennox Employees Credit Union, we're more than just a place to bank. We're part of your team. From low-interest loans and great savings rates to personalized service you can trust, we're here to help you reach your goals. Join the credit union that understands what matters most, because we're built by employees for employees. Stop by Lennox Employees Credit Union today at 1004 East Main in Marshalltown, or visit lennoxecu.com to get started. Lennox Employees Credit Union, where your success is our mission. Member NCUA.
Wells Fargo Advisors of Marshalltown.
Welcome into the locker room report back here at John Carl Courts in Lincoln High School in the Des Moines Metro. Yeah, Bobcats sneaking by 53-50, the final score here tonight as they win it. As it took overtime, offense kind of slacked off a little bit there in the second half. Lincoln gave great effort, but Kyle Smith comes up a final stat line of 28 points. One of the big threes he knocked down there in the first half. He nailed 4 of those threes here tonight. Drake Gersma finishes with 5, 4 for the freshman Damian Segovia. Jacob Hayes with 13. Lars Schoenfelder, the other freshman to start, finishes with 3. Talon Halstead came off the bench, did not score a point, but played some meaningful minutes here tonight for the Cats.
I thought Halstead gave them everything they need from him. Maybe a mistake here or there, but he had 6 big boards, offensive, defensive. He's that big 6'5" kid that can just go get it. He's athletic on the glass, and you see a nice drop step. That was the first bucket of the game for the Cats from the freshman Segovia. But I thought Halstead gave them the minutes they needed from a big off the bench.
I thought defense at times played pretty well, but they did let up some big shots in key moments. But I think it's also key to note that Railsplitters didn't take their first lead until overtime tonight.
Yeah, I thought defensively when things broke down and the Railsplitters were able to get in transition, what they did, they just flowed their shooters to the perimeter. And the Bobcats all came back into the center and then came out on the shooters, but they were locked and loaded, ready to go. Where the defense broke down was the physicality of Parks off the bounce, and then the offensive opportunities, those second, third chance opportunities, where the Cats would box them out, but would not go attack the basketball. Kyle Smith's a very good rebounder from the guard position, has work to do as a guy who's going to turn around, box you out, and then go get the basketball.
We just saw Brian DeMeyer hitting that big 3. He only had 3 shots made tonight, but they were big 3-1s. He was the leading scorer out of the starters tonight. He finishes with 9. Lionel Parks with 7. Henry Fry, he came up with a big 3 in the third quarter. He finishes with 3, but it was the bench that did most of the scoring tonight. Rico Mann had 6. Manaskai had 11, and it was Adam Kawaki with 13. And en route to that, he knocked down 3 big 3s here tonight for the Lincoln Railsplitters. That is our final stat line tonight. Bobcats again go to 1-0 on the season with a date on Thursday with the Newton Cardinals, as they'll head into that game 1-0. Railsplitters start 0-1 to begin the season. We roll along with the locker room report. When we come back, you're watching Bobcat Athletics on your home for the Cats, KFJB-TV.
You look forward to retirement as your time to relax. But now that it's here, turns out relaxation is overrated and you'd rather get back to work with an idea of your own. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When retirement plans change course, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East Southridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
Ready for a 4-year degree, but not ready for the cost? Start smart at Marshalltown Community College. Get the first half of your 4-year education in just 2 years and save thousands. Our flexible programs allow you to seamlessly transfer to a university as a junior. You get a high-quality education with smaller class sizes and the faculty attention you deserve. It's a smart start to your bachelor's degree. Spring classes start January 20th. Enroll today. Visit MarshalltownCommunityCollege.com.
From preschool to graduation day, Marshalltown Community School District prepares students for success in a global world. Embrace the lead with curriculum that prepares students for tomorrow's challenges, giving your child unmatched college and career advantages. Embrace the lead by developing talents beyond the classroom through extracurricular opportunities and by focusing on student well-being and whole child development. Create a global learning community right here in Marshalltown. Learn more at marshalltown.k12.ia.us.
Bobcat Athletics on KFJB-TV is powered by McGregor's Furniture and Mattress. Quality furniture for every room in your home. Sandvik Enterprises of Marshalltown. Let them deliver for you. Scooters of Marshalltown. Amazing people, amazing drinks. Members First Community Credit Union. Financially empowering Central Iowa. And Sports Plus. SportsPlusTherapy.com.
Back in on the locker room report, we're now joined by head coach Mike Apple. And, Coach, I tell you what, here tonight, the way your team got off to a great start here tonight, Damian Segovia, the freshman, made a really nice cut to the bucket and really got the game going from there. That first half, you guys were in real control. It seemed like you had a good plan coming into tonight, and I guess you also had your identity a little bit. You knew Drake Gersma was going to do a good job for you running the point. Had a 10-point lead there at halftime. What was kind of your feeling as far as how your team got going on in the first game of the season?
I thought we started off really well. I thought we were executing well on offense, and defensively we were really, really good to start that game. As it went on, we got, I think it's just fatigue a little bit. I think we got guys playing extremely hard, and we need to just get in a little better shape. And as we get some guys back here, our rotation will be a little better, so some guys get some breaks. But we're playing extremely hard, and it was a great start to that game for the first half.
10-point lead at halftime, but, as you got into the second half, Lincoln, really, you got to give them credit. They stepped up the physicality, the intensity here in the second half, and also found themselves for some wide-open threes. And we've seen that over the years, that Lincoln, as soon as they get hot and they get that crowd behind them, this is a tough place to play.
It is. And, on top of that, we kind of emphasize that at half even as we were late to close out at times that first half even, and they just weren't making shots. And then that second half they capitalized. Number 3 got it going a little bit. So we just got to be aware of that and do a better job of kind of understanding who's got it going and make it harder for them to get off shots. And then on top of that, just keep executing offensively. We missed, close. I don't know. I mean, we missed at least 5 or 6 point-blank layups tonight, maybe even more than that. It was something where if we make those, I don't think the game is as close. So that's some area where we need to just improve and be strong with it and finish at the rim. And I thought we got good looks getting to the rim tonight, and we got to the free throw line enough to where it's good to see that. So there's a lot of positive things tonight.
Kyle Smith, also Jacob Hayes, and even you mentioned a little bit. It'll be key for this team to get to the free throw line a little bit more. I thought the physicality and the drives inside and backdoor cuts to open up those easy shots like you mentioned, playing good brand of basketball that's, winning basketball. You give yourself a better chance on any given night the more you get to the free throw line against that other team.
Absolutely. And, that's a huge emphasis we've talked about is be more aggressive to the rim. A few times we kind of rushed it when we got in there. We got to understand we got to play off 2 feet a little bit more and take it up strong. But for the most part, we're continuing to learn. We're very coachable, continuing to get better. A few mistakes at the end of that game there, but I'm very proud of how we responded going into that overtime. That's not an easy thing to do when you kind of lose that lead and they come back like that and they got some momentum. Kyle hit a huge 3 to open up that overtime, and we kind of kept it rolling from there.
Yeah, that is for sure. Hard to believe they took their first lead of the game in overtime.
Yeah, and that was, when we made about 4 or 5 mistakes right in a row at the end. And, we're going to learn. We're playing 2 freshmen. We're starting 2 freshmen right now. Talon played, I thought great with the minutes he had tonight for not having very much experience at the varsity level. So we're making progress. It's not going to all happen right away,
sure.
But if they continue to work hard, continue to be coachable the way they are, and continue to stay together as a team and as a unit, we'll continue to get better and better.
Yeah, for sure. And it's only game number 1, and it has you leaving a good taste in your mouth, too, knowing that, there was times Segovia and Schoenfelder, he had a phenomenal play down here on this end in the first half where he just ripped the ball away from Lincoln. It almost looked like those freshmen at points didn't look like freshmen out there.
No, they've played a lot of basketball. They're very well experienced. They're competitors. So they got a good feel for it, definitely. I thought Damian did a great job running point when Drake went out that first half when he had 3 fouls. So, a lot of positive points there. Just when, when the lights are on there at the end, we gotta be a little bit better.
Yeah. All right, last question for you, Coach. So I get you out here on the road. I know you've got a busy week, but how pivotal was it to get the win here tonight, knowing you've got games on Thursday and Friday?
It's huge. It's huge. You go into it, you're not really knowing what to expect. You just don't know sometimes, other than just what you've seen in practice, obviously. And they've really been working hard, and it's just continuing to get better and better. And any time you can come away with a win in your first game, regardless whoever it is, we'll take that every time.
Yeah, that is for sure. Bobcats 1-0 as they head into a matchup with the Newton Cardinals coming up on Thursday night. You'll see that one right here on KFJB-TV. We missed you, so it was great to get back and great to get a win.
I missed you guys too. I saw my guy Keith Stewart down there, man, working that sideline. Like anytime I get mad, I just got to give a look at Keith working hard down there, and it kind of calms me down. So I appreciate it. Yeah.
All right, we'll talk to you on Thursday night, Coach. You're watching the Locker Room Report right here on KFJB-TV.
Come to Opa Grill in Marshalltown for made-fresh family recipes handed down for generations. Treat yourself to gyros, pasticcio, Italian pasta dishes, burgers, salmon, homemade soups, and fresh salads. Enjoy a nice glass of wine or a cold glass of beer. Opa Grill has a great variety of American, Greek, and Italian dishes. Something to make everyone in your party say Opa. Open 11 to 8 Monday through Friday, 11 to 3 Saturday, closed Sundays. At the corner of Boone and Center Streets in Marshalltown. DoorDash delivery available. Opa.
You're an empty nester closing in on that retirement property. Chances are your plans didn't include mom moving in, but life happens and you do the right thing. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When retirement means caring for yourself and a loved one, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East Southridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
McGregor's Furniture and Mattress is your local furniture store in Marshalltown. With their extensive inventory, you're sure to make a winning selection when you shop McGregor's for your bedroom, living room, and dining room furnishings. McGregor's has the right play for every room in your home. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress is proud to be your locally owned and operated furniture store since 1896 and very proud to support Bobcat Athletics again this season. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, downtown Marshalltown, open 7 days a week.
The KFJB-TV Locker Room Report, powered by Wells Fargo Advisors of Marshalltown.
Transportation for today's game on KFJB-TV, provided by Carl Auto Group in Marshalltown. Carl is your dealer for life. Time for a final scoreboard update, all brought to you by Central State Bank. We've still had trouble getting those boys' final scores here tonight, but some girls' finals, including 52-38. Marshalltown girl Bobcat basketball moves to 2-0 on the season.
Yeah, we've got some big ones. Number 1 in 5A is Johnston, always good. Beats Southeast Polk 73-42. Iowa City High, number 9, wins over Ames 56-47. That game was at Ames. Number 9, Waverly Shell Rock beats Cedar Rapids Kennedy, who's number 15, 39-32. And in a bit of an upset, Waterloo West beats Decorah 87-68. And yet again, Valley loses to Ankeny 65-46.
Time now for our Athletes of the Week, all brought to you by Opa Grill in Marshalltown. Greek and traditional favorites. All you have to say is Opa. Our Opa Athletes of the Week each receive a $25 gift certificate to the male and female Athletes of the Week. And Adlet Engraving and Screen Print also awards a T-shirt. Our Athlete of the Week from this previous week was Frankie Long. The junior center helped lead the Bobcat girls basketball team to a 30-21 opening season victory. And, she finished with 1 block shot, 8 points, 9 rebounds, and had a really strong performance tonight as she finished just 1 point shy of 17 on her 17th birthday here today.
Coach Murphy said it was her most completely dominant offensive game in the 3 years of coaching her. Frankie was a machine in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, fun to watch her. We'll see her Thursday night coming up against the Newton Cardinals. Meanwhile, for the male Athlete of the Week, give it up to freshman Eli Randall on the boys swim team as Randall swam to a first-place finish against Ames in the 100 fly and with a time of 103.59. And he also helped the Bobcat relay in the 200-yard medley relay finish in second place, as Eli Randall is our male athlete of the week. We'll wrap up the locker room report from Lincoln High School when we come back right here on KFJB-TV.
Some say life is like a road trip. Is it a coincidence Scooter's Coffee is a drive-thru? We don't think so. Whether you need a coffee while you enjoy the view, to just get you through the long stretch, or to refuel between stops, Scooter's Coffee is there, brewing up delicious coffee, espresso blenders, smoothies, iced drinks, and more, with the convenience of a drive-thru so you can stay on the road and enjoy the ride. So go ahead, scoot on around. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooters in Marshalltown.
At Sports Plus Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Center, we customize each patient's treatment plan to their individual needs. What does that mean? It means that not every back or knee problem is treated the same, and that your program will be unique and designed especially for your needs or problem. This improves how quickly you will return to work or sports. The Sports Plus staff is encouraging and takes pride in your successful recovery. This is just one more reason why champions choose Sports Plus Physical Therapy as their favorite place to rehabilitate and train.
Wayward Social is the place for fun. With 20 lanes of bowling, leagues for all levels, great food and drink options, an awesome arcade, there is a ton of fun to be had at Wayward Social for date night, family fun, or the company party with plenty of space for everyone. Visit Wayward Social on Facebook for updates on specials and live music. It is all on South 6th Street in Marshalltown. Visit wayward-social.com to start planning your group outing at Wayward Social, the place for fun.
Bobcat Athletics on KFJB-TV is powered by State Farm, Tyler Pichong Agency, mtownproud.com, Wayward Social, the place for bowling, games, food, and more. Van Wyck Wood Builders, storage sheds, garages, and more. And Wells Fargo Advisors of Marshalltown, helping you pursue your financial goals.
Well, a fun Super Tuesday to kick off the season for the Marshalltown boys basketball team as they again win it overtime 53-50, and they move to 1-0 on the season. And final thoughts here tonight after hearing Coach Apple and his post-game thoughts.
I thought, I kind of echo what he said. I thought the newcomers were really good tonight. I think there's a couple mistakes, but they took a step forward. I thought Kyle Smith scored such an efficient 28 points. That's the way he's going to go to that next level. And finally, they stumbled, but they didn't fall. They were able to squeak out the win at the end. They're going to learn from it, and they're going to have to be ready for Thursday night because Newton always comes in feisty.
That is for sure. They always do. And the Newton Cardinals are next on tap as we take a look at our broadcast schedule coming up. Tomorrow night, it is Bobcat Live from Wayward Social starting at 6 to 7. We'll talk basketball. Also, we'll talk girls and boys wrestling tomorrow night from Wayward Social inside Rosie's. Then basketball on Thursday and Friday night with doubleheaders each night starting at 6 o'clock against Newton on Thursday. And the Des Moines East Scarlets will be in town on Friday night. Thanks so much to our KFJB-TV crew here tonight on the road in the Des Moines Metro. Zach Tomish, Keith Stewart on camera coverage, David Bragg, our on-site producer. For Dylan Doze, I'm Brandon Lewis. Thanks so much for joining us on the season tip-off. Bobcats win it 53-50 in overtime. 1-0. They take on the Cardinals coming up Thursday. We'll talk to you then. You've been watching Bobcat Basketball right here on your home for the Cats, KFJB-TV.
Today's game on KFJB-TV is sponsored by First Rate Real Estate, Atland Engraving and Screen Print Company, Assured Partners, Brown's Shoe Fit, Central State Bank, your Marshalltown Dairy Queens, Eye Care Associates, Hy-Vee Marshalltown, Legends American Grill, Lennox Employees Credit Union, Marshalltown Area Chamber, Marshalltown Community College, Marshalltown School District, McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, Sandvik Enterprises, Scooters, Marshalltown, Sports Plus, State Farm, Tyler Pashong Agency, Wayward Social, Wells Fargo Advisors, Members First Community Credit Union, Van Wyck Wood Builders,